And welcome back to WOCR 89 1-1 as we have a college football matchup today between the Comets of the University of Olivet and the Pioneers hailing from Alfred State. My name's Sebastian O'Leary, joined alongside by my new broadcasting partner, Jack Webb. Jack, how are we doing?
Doing great, Sebastian. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game today, Jack. A lot of action-packed play, 60 minutes to be exact, on this very fine Saturday afternoon, as game time is going to be about 12 o'clock noon here on Saturday, September 30th, 2023, as Olivet looking to bounce back after what was a very, very tough first home opening game of this season, as coming into this game, Olivet 1-2 to Alfred State's 2-2, as one more game played for the Pioneers, as previous games for Olivet coming into this one. First week win over Franklin College, 35-32, followed up by two back-to-back losses. One at Worcester College, 24-22, and then 2 weeks ago here against Hanover College, 67-17. That was a really tough loss for Olivet. They did hang out all the way through, though. They went into the half down 42-0, found a way to put up 17 points in that second half, but they're looking to bounce back today, Jack. How are they going to be able to do that?
Well, as you said, that was Olivet's worst loss since 2011, where they let North Central College of Illinois put up 84 points on them. And there was a lot of factors that determined their loss. They were riddled with injuries. For example, Thomas Faust was out, and he'll be back in this game. And yeah, they'll have they might have some defensive players back. I mean, they said Austin Burkumpus was questionable. We don't know if he will be playing or not. And yeah, they're just going to try to keep it down a little bit. Alfred State only allows 312 yards per game, so it might not be as suffocating in terms of the defensive end of things.
Yeah, you talked about the injuries that they were facing last week. They're going to have a little bit of the same, but getting a few names back this week, as coming into this week, Anthony Brown, the 4-year fullback for Olivet, he's going to be out for the rest of the season with a knee injury. Already had surgery for that injury and trying to get the knee all healed up and done. As Keontae Bunk and you said Austin Burkumpus, both questionable heading into this game. Haven't gotten to see much on the field, whether they're going to be out here yet or not, so we'll keep that tracked throughout the game. But you commented on it. Thomas Faust, he's going to be back. He's the quarterback one for Olivet, as last week they ran a 3-quarterback system. I mean, we saw Evan Ormsby. We saw Gavin Wildman. We even saw some of the freshmen getting into it, as Charlie Grant also got into that game. But with Thomas Faust being back, he's only played about 1.5 games, you can really say. He got injured in that game against Worcester, but season stats so far for Thomas Faust: 13 for 25, 252 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, no incompletions. But that's not the only way that he can burn you, Jack. He has legs like Lamar Jackson himself. I mean, last year he was wearing number 7, switched it up to number 9 this year, but last year when he had that number, he got the Michael Vick comparisons from everybody around the school. I mean, this year already, 26 carries, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a season long of 78 yards. That's a huge run for a quarterback there. And I mean, like we said, that dual threat ability, looking like Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick comparisons from classmates. He's looking to bounce back here today against Alfred State.
Yeah, as you said, I was calling him the collegiate Cam Newton after the first game against Franklin. He rushed for and passed for over 200 yards. He leads the team in rushing yards. He's even beat out Samuel Canucci and Dontel Wright. We know how talented those guys are. They were missing that last week. They were missing the athleticism of Faust. Sure, they still had the running game, but Ormsby, Grant, Wildman, they're just not as athletic in terms of running it down the field as Thomas Faust is. And now that they have him back, expect them to exercise that quite frequently tonight.
Yeah, so this week I got to go and sit down with Coach Moose, head coach of the Comets, and he had some things to say about this Alfred State team and how it's harder to go and kind of gauge a team you've never really played before. And I mean, Alfred State hauling all the way from Alfred, New York, 7-hour bus ride for them to get here today in Olivet, Michigan. Coach Moose said it's harder to perceive what teams are like being farther away. However, he can tell that this team is hard physical. They're big up front, both sides of the ball, looking for those lines to make a difference as Alfred State, as if they can really set Olivet's defensive line kind of on their back heels and really keep them guessing all game long, if that offensive line for Alfred State's blocking, it's going to open up their run game.
Indeed, and as you said, yeah, they really aren't used to, both teams aren't really used to playing teams that far away. Olivet, this is their first time playing against a team from New York since 2016 when they lost to St. John Fisher 52-10. And for Alfred State, they joined D3 in 2013. This is their first time since making that jump that they're facing a team from our great state of Michigan. Another thing to note here, you said the D-line is really important. Alfred State actually does allow more rushing yards than passing yards on average. So that's going to be really important, especially when you consider how good Samuel Canucci, Dontel Wright, and of course Thomas Faust are in the running game. That could give him some troubles this game.
Yeah, it definitely could give them some trouble. As another question I asked Coach Moose, with having to play through the adversities and kind of the injuries here this season, what has he changed up? How is he trying to keep these guys healthy? He's tweaked the practices, and since he's been here 2014, 2015, he's kind of doing something this year that they've never really done. They're running higher tempo in practice. They're looking at new takeaways to look at and opportunities where people are at in this program and who can play where and how deep a position can really be. And the big thing that he really said that he needed is he needs everyone to show up. Usually in pass, there's Olivet teams where you can rely on the run game or the defensive prowess in years priors with people like Tamar Hart and Jalen Rogers. However, this year, it's really on everybody. As Olivet is starting this game, they're going to kick it off deep, taken, received in by the 5 for Alfred State, and they're going to get a decent return here as Alfred State working it all the way out past the 30 and towards the 35 as Noah Courier there on the carry for Alfred State, and that's going to start them off around the 35-yard line in great starting field position here for Alfred State.
Fantastic starting position around the 35-yard line, if I'm not mistaken. Great start for the Pioneers.
Yeah, as coming out, this Alfred State offense through the air this year, yards per game 192, and they go for 120 per game on the ground, as it's going to be a good first drive here for Alfred State, as in the shotgun it's going to be Alfred State's quarterback. First snap, handoff, and not much going on the ground there to get this one started. Good stand there by the defensive line, getting into the backfield, Ricky Williamson for a stop.
Of course, it's Ricky Williamson, a senior. Just a fantastic presence on the defensive line. Great stop by the Comets.
As they met him at the line of scrimmage, it was close to the backfield. However, Jake Palmer able to carry that one out and get a yard there on the play for Alfred State, as in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, as Horvath going to take this one, scanning left. He's going to throw it, hit Palmer in the hands, and Palmer's going to be pushed towards that sideline, brought down before he can pick up that first down, as it's going to bring up 3rd and close, as almost a minute gone by now, 14 minutes, 7 seconds still remaining in this first quarter, so just a minute gone by. Alfred State facing their first 3rd down. It's 3rd and 3, ball on Alfred State's 43-yard line. As in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Horvath looking to the sideline for the play call, as he's just going to audible Palmer to the other side, as Palmer and Horvath in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Horvath take the snap. He's going to throw this one backfield to Palmer. Palmer making one man miss. Going to get swarmed up and brought down by the Comets that are rolling on defense.
And before that drive, Alfred State was 42% on 3rd down completions. That number's a little lower after that drive. I would also say to keep an eye on Jake Palmer. Not only is he their main threat on the running game, he's also 3rd on the team in receptions. So watch out for number 32 for Alfred State.
Yeah, it's coming into this game. 3rd down conversion rates, Alfred State on the season, 22 for 52, or a 42% conversion rate, as the first 3rd down that they're going to face in this game, not going to convert. A quick 3 and out here for Olivet, or Alfred State, as Olivet's going to get the ball, as Nate Briggs going to be the return man back deep for Olivet, as he's going to wave the fair catch and fall down on it, as Good punt by Alfred State. Olivet's going to take this one and start on their own 16.
And Coach Moose noted to you in that interview that you did with him that their punt returner, Jocelyn John, is out. And Nate Briggs, who's their main kick returner, and is also a really good wide receiver for the Comets, will be on those punt returns for this game.
Yeah, Nate Briggs doing a lot on the kick return game. He's got 12 kick returns on the year for 275 yards. That is quite the number on the return game, and that's something we saw in that Hanover game where on the sheet it didn't look like they had a lot going, but Nate Briggs in that return game for Olivet was really, really strong against the Hanover Panthers.
That was truly a bright spot for them in that game where they really needed a bright spot.
As Faust in the pistol formation, he's just going to hand this one off. That's Dontel Wright finding a gap, and he's going to get a good gain to start the drive here for Olivet.
Alfred State not letting it get too carried away, but Dontel Wright being Dontel Wright, he finds a way.
So with Alfred State giving up the yardage that they do on the ground per game, giving up 186 yards on the ground on average. We got two running backs that can really expose this in Dontel Wright and Samuel Canucci. As taking the snap, sending a man in motion, and giving the ball to Dontel Wright as he's going to spin off a defender and then get dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to be about a loss of a yard on the play.
Kind of looked like he ran into his own guy there, and man, you really can't do that. But because that was a pretty sizable gap that he had there, but you know, there's still a lot of time, of course.
As 3 minutes just gone by here in the start of this first quarter, 11 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the first, as Faust and company lining up down there. Two receivers to the right, one to the left, and he's going to have Dontel Wright in the backfield. As Faust going to take the snap, drop back, surveying right side, going to throw it for Dontel Wright, who is open, but just over top of Dontel Wright it goes. As first pass by Thomas Faust right there, you need to reel that one back in.
Indeed, and so far both quarterbacks on either side are really not only focusing on the run game, but even when they're passing, they're throwing to their running backs. So we'll see later on if the wide receivers get more involved.
As both teams now a couple of quick 3 and outs here on the day to start it, as Olivet not much brewing, trying to get the run game going with Dontel Wright, as Samuel Canucci, Dontel Wright, both about 30 rushes on the season. Samuel Canucci only having one more. But they're pretty close in the similar yard marks, as we're going to get a punt here from Olivet, as Fulton Reed going to send this one back to the opposite side of the field and back to the 34-yard line. So similar starting spots for Alfred State. We're going to see if this second drive is going to be a little bit stronger than their last.
Indeed we will. And again, great field position for Alfred State. I mean, you're punting a little far into your own territory for Olivet, but if you're Alfred State, this is chance number 2, drive number 2. Let's see if you can get something on the board.
As it's going to set up 1st and 10 here, second drive for Alfred State. They're going to take over with 11 minutes, 24 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. As now Horvath and company going to line up in the shotgun, two receivers to the right. Horvath going to take the snap. He's going to hand this one off, and that's going to be Josh Graham on the carry for Alfred State, as he's going to be met right at the line of scrimmage and brought down for a gain of nothing.
Again, another great stop by that Olivet D line. You got Ricky Williamson again. You also have other players such as Dennis Simmons, another senior. A couple great guys on that defensive line trying to stop the run game.
As Horvath and company now, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left in the shotgun with Palmer at his hip. As Horvath just trying to hard count this Olivet defense. He's going to take the snap now, surveying the field. He's going to look right side, and he's hit in a hurry. Brought down there by Olivet's very own Dylan Weaver.
Dylan Weaver, that is his first sack of the season. Got to feel good for that man.
As he got in there, might have been an assisted sack, a couple of Comets getting in on that play, but notably, Dylan Weaver was the first one in there. Dominic Tejeda also getting in on that play. As Alfred State now set up 3rd and long, 3rd and 20 to be exact, 10 minutes, 12 seconds left to go in the first quarter. As 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Horvath taking the snap, going to drop back, and again, pressure coming, ball on the floor. Alfred State recovers, though. As defensively, Olivet looking strong.
Incredible showing by Olivet so far. You know, you got to keep this up, and I hope that it's certain that they will, hopefully.
As, yeah, what a great stand here. They lose some more yardage on the play as tricky play there for Justin Horvath. Lucky that Alfred State was able to hop on the loose ball, and Olivet not going to take over in great territory position.
They certainly have a chance to get over across the 50 here, get into enemy territory.
As Alfred State going to need a big boot here, as the punt's going to be up in the air, and it's going to send it back across midfield. Nate Briggs going to haul this one in around the 40-yard line, making a couple of Pioneers miss. And what a shifty return there by Nate Briggs.
I want to point out Alfred State's punter, Riley Van Vliet. Not only is he a punter, but he also leads the team in interceptions as a defensive back, and he also returns punts for the team. So you'll be seeing a lot of him during this game.
As Alfred State not having the same size of roster down there sideline to sideline with Olivet. Olivet obviously being the home team, they don't got to travel. They can bring their full squad here, as the numbers for Olivet, when you just look at it sideline to sideline, really strong. And when Olivet's playing like this, they're not going to have a lot of guys playing both ways. I mean, a roster like that, you're not going to have anybody playing both ways. As Faust in the pistol, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Going to take the snap, roll out left. He's going to pitch it now, Donto Wright. Donto Wright finding the edge. He's going to get a good gain, about 4 or 5 yards.
And about that depth, that's something that Coach Moose really pointed out when he interviewed him. They have a lot of red jerseys on this side of the field, and they will use that to their advantage.
Yeah, 100% of the time, having depth like that and the kind of the next man up mentality that Coach Moose likes to have, it really meshes well with all of these comments.
And he also mentioned that there's, a lot of young guys played against Hanover, and they played because they earned it. They played because they practiced well enough to earn it, and that will certainly continue throughout the season.
Faust in the pistol, as going to take the snap. He's going to just fake the handoff, roll out right. It's going to be a quarterback keeper himself, looking no intention to throw. He's going to get out towards that first down yard marker, as he does seem to pick up the first down. So converting there on a 2nd and 6. And what a way for Olivet to keep the drive alive.
And it's plays like that make Thomas Faust the definition of a dual threat. He looked like he was going to kind of get only a minimal loss, but he found a way. And now it's a 1st and 10 for the Comets.
Yeah, kept those legs fighting all the way through. 8 minutes left to go here in the first quarter, as Olivet looking to put up the first points in this game. 0-0, as Faust in the shotgun. He's going to throw this one to Donto Wright. Little check down pass. That's going to go for a lot of yardage. Donto Wright weaving left to right.
Flag on the field, though.
And there is a flag on the play. We're going to see who it's going to go against, as it's not up towards that line of scrimmage and kind of down where they brought Donto Wright at.
Donto Wright just finding a way yet again, and that was, if it stands, a huge gain for the Comets.
As it's going to be a holding call going against Olivet, so that big gain off the check down pass just erased and eliminated from the game. 7 minutes, 48 seconds to go in the first. Everybody's all tied up here, 0-0.
And that's brutal. Penalties are truly momentum killers, and we just saw it right there. He was close or even in the red zone, and now they're back to where they started. But it's still on the 38-yard line, still good field position. You can still get some things going here.
As it's going to bring up 1st and 8 here. 7 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first. As Faust, he's going to be lone man in the shotgun, 2 receivers to each side. And Donto Wright there pass blocking. As Donto Wright now going to go out for a pass, he's going to find a wide open receiver down there, as that's going to be number 9 on the play for Olivet, and that one, Fulton Reed.
He was wide open, and there was no one near him. Fantastic find by Faust, and a bit of a breakdown by the Alfred State secondary.
As that pass was actually intended for Nate Briggs. I mean, we say game after game, these numbers for Olivet being slanted and squished.
And I'm learning that too here.
Yeah, the 3s, the 0s, the 8s, and the 9s, they all look very similar. Sending a man in motion right now is Olivet. They're just going to take the snap, hand off Donto Wright, running right side, cutting back to the left, and he's going to be brought down after a short gain of about 2 or 3 yards.
And you're seeing here with the importance of that the run game has on the Olivet offense, how important the blocking game is, and blockers are going to need to step up if they want to continue the run success, and they certainly have been doing that this drive.
As Olivet now starting to find their rhythm here on this drive. Thomas Faust, 2 for 3, 33 yards so far in this game. Still early though, 6 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in the first. As in the red zone, looking to put up some points here, 0-0 as it still stands. Alfred State looking to keep Olivet out of the end zone. Thomas Faust in the pistol. He's going to fake the handoff, keep it himself. He's going to roll out right, looking for the end zone. Got a couple of guys to beat. However, he's going to be pushed out of bounds. But yet, picking up another first down goes Olivet, and it's going to bring up 1st and goal, Jack.
And what a block on the outside by Dylan Weaver, the junior from Troy, Michigan. Just a fantastic block on the outside, and that really set up Faust for that gain there.
Yeah, it really opened up the right side of the field. Obviously not enough to get into the end zone, as ball 4 yards away from the goal line. Faust and company looking towards the sideline in the play call. Is we're going to have Charlie Grant down next to Coach Hav calling the plays.
Good to have that young man get some words from his coach.
As in the shotgun is Faust, 2 receivers. He's just going to roll out right. He's going to keep it himself. Walking into the end zone, touchdown, Thomas Faust and Olivet.
There he goes again. There goes that man, Thomas Faust, getting 6 on the board for the Comets.
Yeah, using the arm and using the legs on that drive. 2 passes completed for 33 yards as he uses the legs and finds his way into the end zone. 14 yards on the ground for Thomas Faust, and a touchdown. Excuse me, they updated the live stats. 18 yards and a touchdown for Thomas Faust.
The people are on their feet. The cheer squad's getting active. The flags are out. Great scene here at Comet Field.
Yeah, and what a way to start this game here at the Color Athletic Event Center. I mean, going last game against Hanover, getting shut out in the first half, 42-0 the score at halftime. Coming out and being able to put the first score up on the board here in the game. 7-0, 5 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the first, and Olivet now having a lead.
This is a vast improvement from a 50-point loss in their home opener. Now they're up 7-0, 5:40 left to go in the first quarter, as you said. Better start on a much better day, I shall add. It's very beautiful here in the press box and outside, and just a great overall environment here in Olivet, Michigan.
It's a little hot up here.
It is, but
a little steamy.
Sometimes that's the price you pay, though.
It is, but this game going to be a good one and a hot one itself. As 5 minutes, 40 seconds remaining, remaining in the first, I should say. Olivet leading this game 7-0 in the first quarter. And I mean, it's just the first lead that the home team has seen here at home all season. I mean, Hanover got that one off to a quick start, and they never looked back in the home opener. So Olivet looking to bounce back at home and even up their record at 2-2 before they start conference play.
I mean, a 42-0 halftime deficit has to be some sort of record. I mean, just a brutal start. I mean, they got it picked up later, but yeah, you can't really recover from that kind of start.
Is Alfred State going to start their return inside the 5-yard line and get out to about the 25-yard line? Maybe a little bit past there, but good return by Alfred State to start them off a little bit better than what would have happened.
And yet again, the red jerseys finding a way to get to those white jerseys. A fantastic job by the Olivet defense there, and they'll have at least 3 or 4 more downs at least to showcase their talents.
Yeah, I will say the white kits by Alfred State looking pretty fresh.
They do. I completely agree with that.
Yeah,
the numbers are much easier to read.
Much easier. As now starting their second drive in this game, or third drive in this game, Alfred State as Horvath in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. He's just going to hand this one off to Palmer. Palmer trying to go up the middle, but he's going to be stuffed by that defensive line from Olivet.
And the running game is very much inside focused. They aren't really going outside much. The only times they've really gone outside is if they were to pass. Maybe that should be an option for Alfred State, maybe because the defensive line has just been on point so far for the Comets. Maybe try some outside runs.
Yeah, the defense for Olivet doing really, really well so far this season. They've only allowed 127 rushing yards on an average for every game. So looking to keep those numbers quiet here today. Horvath's going to take the shot, sending it to Palmer in motion. Palmer going to find the edge. However, he's only going to pick up about 3 yards on that carry.
And we haven't really seen the passing game from starting quarterback Justin Horvath. He is has a 65% completion percentage for 768 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He has an arm, certainly has an arm, and he's very accurate with it. We haven't really seen that so far. And
yeah, 5 touchdowns to 3 interceptions for Horvath. The touchdown to interception ratio is in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, a lone man over there to the left, as he's going to have Palmer glued to the hip. As Horvath taking the snap, he's going to survey the field. Pressure coming, throwing a deep ball. That one's going to be caught. 20, 15, 10. Touchdown, Alfred State, as just one toss up there to Jazir Francois. And Francois finding his way into the end zone to try and tie this game up.
And Jazir Francois is that one receiver for Alfred State that you really need to watch for. 17 receptions, 318 yards before this game, 4 touchdowns. He's one of only 2 receivers to actually have a receiving touchdown. His longest is 73 yards. And that might have been broken with that drive.
Yeah, I mean, just what a nice pass there from Horvath to Francois, and I mean 69 yards through the air, so almost getting that long back, but oh man, as attempting the PAT, now snap, hold, and kick is up, but that one's blocked by Olivet, so the tie yet to come with that block. Olivet leads it 7-6 with 4 minutes, 10 seconds left to go in the first.
And even when the defense and the secondary in particular kind of let a guy go, they still have that one play that they can recover from, and that was that play. And let's see if Olivet can get 7 more on the board and increase this lead.
Yeah, Olivet looking to increase their lead on this next drive, but something to note here in this game is whoever's going to be able to keep it clean on the turnover sheet is more than likely going to find the edge in this game, as not a lot of turnovers for Bowl. Well, a lot of turnovers in terms of running the ball for Olivet. They fumbled 10 times, lost 6 of them, as Alfred State has had 4 fumbles, but they have yet to lose a fumble on the season, so that's something to note there. But the interceptions is where Alfred State kind of struggles. 7 interception, or defensively, they've gotten 7 interceptions compared to Olivet's just 5, as Olivet looking to keep it a clean game versus just a couple of weeks ago against Hanover, where fumbles and interceptions were really just biting them all over the place.
And it's the same thing with the penalties as well. Olivet between this game, 17 penalties for 130 yards. Alfred State 18 for 143 yards. So both teams have kind of a history of playing, having some errors, and let's see if they can try to clean it up in this game.
As Max DeMayer going to send this one over towards the sideline, taking an Alfred State bounce and keeping in bounds, as that one almost let out of bounds by Olivet, however, unable to let it roll out of bounds, taking a pioneer bounce, and Olivet's going to be pinned back inside the 10-yard line to start this drive.
That was an incredible kickoff by, I believe it was Riley Van Vliet again. Great, lucky bounce, great bounces though. And Olivet's suddenly within the 10-yard line, and let's see what they can get out of this one.
As Olivet going to be starting this drive, it pinned back very deep inside their own territory, as ball on their 8-yard line, 4 minutes, 7 seconds to make a drive happen here with a score of 7-6. Olivet leads Alfred State.
7-6 with about 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Still a lot of great football to be played here, and let's see what Olivet does on drive number 3.
As Olivet's going to take a timeout here, trying to really figure out what they're going to do here, pinned back super far. If I had to guess, they're going to start off with the run game a little bit, try and give themselves some breathing room, and then they're going to let the magician Thomas Faust go to work.
Yep, and again, expect him to be very active on this drive as he has in the past 2 drives. And yeah, I agree with you. The running game, if it's been important in previous drives and in previous games, it's going to be important now no matter how far back they are. There might be some more passing plays than if they were at the 40, for example, but still the running game can get them good yards, and expect to see that a lot in this drive.
Yeah, the run game, 2 dominant backs, kind of a double-headed monster with Samuel Canucci and Dontel Wright. Canucci, 31 rushes, 204 yards, and only 2 fumbles, as Dontel Wright, 30 rushes, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 fumbles to his name as well, as Olivet's looking to start this drive off here strong. Faust sending a man in motion in the shotgun, as he's just going to fake the handoff to Dontel Wright, looking to take a shot over through the air, as that one's going to be tipped and incompleted. So coming out of the game and looking to pass here, just pinned back only 8 yards really to work with behind them, as that ball is going to be intended left upstairs for number 88, but unable to bring it down is Jordan Shaddix.
And great coverage by the Alfred State secondary. Not the best throw from Faust, but still second down.
Yeah, still second down, so needing to get some yardage here is Olivet, as going to take the snap now, run it over to the left side, and they're going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe get a yard there, as Samuel Canucci on the carry, not able to find the edge and really separate himself from defenders.
And Alfred State there showcasing their defensive prowess. They have a couple guys on that defensive line. They got Rayshawn Powell, who I believe leads the team in sacks, and also Connor Gore, as well as several linebackers, such as number 44, Jeremiah Nixon. That's just incredible.
As 3rd and 9, 3 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in the first. Faust in the pistol formation, 3 receivers to the left, and we're going to get a whistle here and a timeout taken by Alfred State. So with that, we're going to take a 30-second break here on WOCR 89 1-1. Stick around for more Comet football. Welcome back to WOCR 89 1-1. Alfred State versus the University of Olivet. As Olivet looking for their first home win as a university, just the second game they're playing since the name change from college to university. As Faust going to be in the shotgun by himself, 2 receivers on each side, taking the snap, surveying the field. He's looking like he's just going to keep it himself, trying to get past one defender, diving to make the effort, but he's going to pick up a first down. So heads up play there by Thomas Faust to tuck it and run it.
And again, the resilience and perseverance of Thomas Faust is really showing here. Almost looked like he was going to get only a couple of yards on that, but he has a first down now. Comets at the 25-yard line.
As 3 minutes, 7 seconds to go in the first, 7-6 is the score lead for Olivet. Just 1 point ahead of Alfred State. The Pioneers looking to make a big stop. As sending a man in motions, Faust in the pistol. As he's going to roll out to the right and just throw it Samuel Canucci's way. Canucci going to fight, but he's going to be swarmed up and stampeded over by some Pioneers.
Fantastic job by that Alfred State defense. I see number 99 over there, Rayshawn Powell, playing his part. Number 55, Jalen White with the tackle there, also a key part of their defense. Second down for the Comets.
As the Comets looking towards the sideline for the play call. It's going to be setting up 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, as he's going to be in the shotgun. Faust, that is, with Dontel Wright to his left. As taking the snap, surveying the field, throwing it to the right. First Aquarius ball. That one's going to be caught, and a good gain of about 7 or 8 yards there through the air. Thomas Faust to Aquarius ball.
And just as Alfred State has their guy, Jazier Francois, Olivet also has their guy in Aquarius Ball. Before this game, 15 receptions for 312 yards, 3 touchdowns. His longest reception, 74 yards, averages about 104 yards per game. That's his first reception here tonight. Let's see if he can get some more.
Yeah, going to be looking for big things out of Aquarius all night long, or all afternoon long, I should say. It's not going to be a night game. This
doesn't look like a night game to me, Sebastian.
Yeah, it's going to be wrapped up well short of nightfall. As in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, and now switching it up and into the pistol as Olivet going to take another timeout here in the first half. So in the first quarter, let alone, they've used 2 timeouts now. And I mean, clock management isn't something that Olivet's looking to struggle with or look to really keep alive here in this first half. Obviously, it's more important towards the second half and the end of the game in a close game like this. But Coach Moose not liking what he's seeing down there on the field with the 3rd and short, as 3 yards to get for Olivet to gain another first down and keep this drive alive. As so far on the season, Olivet's kind of struggled a little bit in terms of converting on 3rd down. Just 17 for 45, or a 38% conversion rate. You're looking to bump up those numbers. I mean, so far, the 3rd down conversion hasn't been all strugglesome.
And after that 3rd down, after Alfred State failed to convert on 3rd down a couple drives ago, the percentages are even more similar. I mean, they're probably around, I'd say, the 40% mark, and Olivet is 38%. So both teams have their own struggles in terms of converting on 3rd down, and let's see if they can bump those numbers up today.
1:39 remaining in the first, 7-6. Olivet leads it. In the shotgun is Faust, excuse me. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, as he's just going to throw a check down to the running back, Dontel Wright. Dontel Wright looking to get the edge. Excuse me, that's Samuel Canucci. Samuel Canucci going to get enough for the first down. Good pickup and good play there for Olivet.
And Samuel Canucci on that play, tiptoeing along the near sideline, just getting any ounce of green grass that he can get on that drive. Fantastic play for the Eagles, 1st and 10 on the 40.
As the clock's still rolling down, 1:20 count and counting down, as 7-6 still the score here. 1st and 10 for Olivet, ball on their 40-yard line. As sending a man in motion, going to throw it the other way to Christopher White. Christopher White's going to be wrapped up, but he's also going to get a gain there. So way to fight for yards after contact.
And Christopher White, or as they call him in my writing and research class, C13, 9 receptions, 190 yards, second of the team in both of those categories. 60 yards as his longest reception. And folks, he's only a freshman.
Yeah, watch out. Freshman getting it done here this year. And I mean, you kind of need some youth standouts in programs like that, and obviously Christopher White, the standout of the freshman class so far for Olivet, is taking the snap in the pistol and handing it off to Donto Wright after only a gain of about 2 yards there on the carry. That's a good pickup there for the Comets.
That was Josh Borowitz, number 10 for Alfred State, with a big hit on that play.
As it's going to bring up about 3rd and 5, ball on the 45-yard line as the clock's winding down, 14 seconds remaining and counting, as it's still running clock, and seems to be like Olivet might just take this down to the end of the first quarter as they're still looking towards the sideline. 3 seconds to go, counting down, and it is going to reach the triple goose eggs here. After the first quarter of play, Olivet leads it 7-6. We're going to take a minute break here on WOCR 89 1-1. Stick around for more Comet football. And welcome back to WOCR 89 1-1. Olivet trying to keep this drive alive. 3rd and 5 here. They're just going to hand it off to Samuel Canucci. Canucci finding a hole. The secondary players for Alfred State trying to bring him down. They're going to wrap him up, but not after a big chunk of yardage there on that carry for Olivet.
And right from the break, Samuel Canucci showing his legs, showing that speed as well, getting across the middle of the field for a very good gain. 1st and 10 for the Comets.
As Samuel Canucci picking up the first down for Olivet there. Now ball's going to be on Alfred State's 33-yard line. Approaching the red zone is Olivet in the pistol. Thomas Faust taking the snap. He's going to hand it off left side to Samuel Canucci. Samuel Canucci bouncing off defenders, and then he's going to be bounced out at the sideline.
Samuel Canucci can go inside, and folks, you can bet he can go outside as well. 2 great runs from number 2 in red.
Yeah, I mean, that first rush out of the break for 22 yards to set them up where they are now, and another good rush there by Olivet. However, seems to be some dirty laundry on the field, and it's going to be a holding call going against Olivet, so penalties hurting Olivet here in this first half, as on the season total so far, Olivet's had 17 penalties for 136 yards, and trying to keep this game clean is Olivet, but the officials down there on the field are going to catch you when you slip up.
And I believe that's holding call number 2 for Olivet. So again, got to be mindful of those.
As now Olivet taking the ball on their 39-yard line. 14 minutes, 14 seconds to go in this game. Olivet with a 1-point lead, 7-6. Faust dropping back after the snap. He's just going to look over, try and tuck it and keep it himself, as he's going to pick up a gain of about 3 on that play, maybe 4 yards.
And he might not have had the most amount of time there, but boy, did he have the room. So great clearance by the Olivet O-line.
As 13 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in this first half. It's going to be about 2nd and 13. Ball on Alfred State's 36, and the Pioneers needing to make a stop here to keep this game close.
Indeed they do.
As the Comets getting the play call from the sideline, as it's going to be Faust in the shotgun, Kanuji to his hip, as he's going to have 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, as sending a man in motion. That's going to be Shoebridge in motion. As Faust going to take the snap, looking over, he's going to complete this pass over to Kanuji. Kanuji getting the edge, but he's going to be pushed out and bounced out into that Olivet sideline.
And again, not a ton of involvement so far for wide receivers of both teams, aside from the touchdown by Francois and Alfred State. Even on passing plays, they're still throwing to those running backs, but you really can't blame them, especially in Olivet's case.
Olivet facing another 3rd down after that big pickup of turning it from 2nd and 13 to now 3rd and 1. So big pickup, 12 yards there, as 7-6 the score, 13 minutes, 16 seconds. Faust in the pistol, sending a man in motion. He's going to take the snap, hand it off to Kanuji. Kanuji's going to go to the outside, find the edge, as that's Donto Wright finding the sideline and pushed out before he can find his way in for his 3rd touchdown of the season.
Got a new nickname for him, Samuel Kanuji, the master of tiptoeing. Getting really close to the sideline, but not getting out and getting a few more yards on that play.
As Donto Wright picking up a big gain there. Thought it was Samuel Kanuji, however, Donto Wright on that play. And
numbers, man, numbers.
Yeah, it's the numbers here for Olivet that really are just kind of a headache and a pain. But in the pistol, Faust taking it, handing off to Donto Wright. Donto Wright going left side, and he's going to get a big hit delivered as that one, number 44 from Alfred State, as just an absolutely thunderous hit being delivered, as that one's going to be Jeremiah Nixon on the tackle there for Alfred State.
And Jeremiah Nixon's one of those players for Alfred State that you need to watch out for. He leads the team in tackles total and on average. He also has 2 sacks for 14 yards and 4 tackles for loss for 17 yards, as well as an interception. So number 44 in white, you got to watch out for him.
3 receivers to the right. In the pistol goes Faust. Faust going to hand it, fake the handoff, keep it himself. He threw everybody for a loop, including himself. A 2nd rushing touchdown for the quarterback, Thomas Faust. Touchdown, Olivet.
There he goes again. Thomas Faust, number 9. Getting 6 more for the Comets.
And I mean, doing it again on the legs, it seems to be like right when they get inside that 10-yard line, the read option comes to play, and it brings that offense to life when you got a quarterback that can use the legs like Faust.
Incredible blocking there, too. There were some pretty big gaps when Faust was coming to the outside, so good job by Olivet's wide receivers and offensive linemen for providing Faust with those gaps so he can walk into the end zone.
Yeah, the point after attempt going to be attempted here in a second to hold the kick. It's all up and it's all no good. Actually, it seemed to be pretty good from up here. However, now the officials underneath the goalpost going to talk about it, as it was a little miscommunication between the two. One went up and good, the other went no good, but no good's going to be the call. So after Alfred State missing the PAT, it's just going to be a 7-point game, 13-6. Olivet leads it with 12 minutes to go in the first half.
Very steady drive by the Comets there. Let's see if they can replicate that success on the defensive end.
As one thing you usually don't see, the miscue between the refs. The official down there on the field on the left side of the post went up and good. The other one saying no, it went outside.
So college football, this is why college football is great. You can see the unusual sometimes.
It's mayhem, it's madness.
So true.
And we're here along for the ride, Jack.
Absolutely.
As getting set back to send this one deep here yet again for Olivet. It's going to be Tristan McKinney set to send it deep for the Comets, as this one's going to be sent over towards the sideline and out of bounds. That's going to be a flag on the play, and Alfred State's going to start off in exceptional field position.
Exceptional indeed. Again, penalties, very important. You just can't be having them. They are momentum killers, Sebastian.
They are momentum killers, but when Alfred State needs a little bit of momentum, they get it right there off the bad kick. It goes out of bounds. I mean, it didn't even have a chance to take an Olivet bounce and go inbounds. Landed straight out of bounds off the foot of McKinney, and Olivet not starting this defensive stand how they want to, as it's going to be ball on the 35-yard line. That's where the Pioneers are going to take over. As it's just about 12 minutes remaining in this game. Olivet up by 7, 13-6. Horvath in the shotgun. Palmer to his hip. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. As he's just going to take the snap, fake the handoff, and throw it over to the left side. Got a couple of blocks, and he's got to lay an Alfred State down the sideline, as that one's going to be Noah Silver.
And important thing to note there, that wouldn't have been possible if it weren't for that block by number 1, Jazir Francois. Not only can he catch the ball, not only does he gain yards for a living, but he can also block as well, and that really led the way for that massive gain for Alfred State.
Yeah, what a big way to start this drive. 1 play, 1 pass, and a really big pickup here for Alfred State. As looking towards the sideline goes Alfred State, trying to set up how they're going to attack Olivet after a 30-yard gain through the air. Horvath in the shotgun, Palmer at his hip. He's going to have 2 receivers on each side, and you got to look for Francois lining up in the slot. As Horvath going to take the snap, drop back, and he's going to look. Francois, the intended target, but that one's out of bounds, incomplete.
Indeed, you have to look out for Francois. That was a pretty good route. He was open, but it was just a little far.
Little far off the pass there from Horvath. That's just going to be his first incomplete pass of the day. So 4 for 5 so far, 106 yards and a touchdown for Justin Horvath through the air.
Showcasing that arm.
As 2 receivers to the right, he's going to have Palmer in the shotgun with Horvath. As Horvath surveying the defense, looking left to right. He's going to take the snap now, roll out to the right. Horvath, pressure coming. He's going to throw it near the sideline. That one's going to be caught and brought in. They're going to say yes. He's inbounds. Good catch there by Alfred State.
Very close call on that one. He was just near the far sideline, but that's a good catch. He had his feet in bounds.
Did have the feet in bounds. Really got to be aware. So good awareness there by Alfred State's wide receivers.
Ben Baugh, number 15, senior. Second in receptions and in receiving yards.
As 2 receivers each side for Horvath, as Horvath's going to be in the shotgun, Palmer glued to his hip. He's going to move Palmer from right side to left side, as Horvath going to take the snap, looking to keep it himself, as he's going to be met right at the line of scrimmage, gaining about 2 yards there on the play. So way to keep those feet pumping there by the quarterback, Justin Horvath. As on the season, Horvath not really rushing a whole lot, as he's carried for 17 times, making that his 18th. Just 12 yards and an average of 0.7 yards per carry, as the long on the season for Horvath has been 10 yards.
Horvath has more fumbles than yards per carry.
Yeah, which is pretty wild, as lining up trips to the left, as they're going to have a lone receiver, Baugh, to the left, as it's going to be Horvath in the shotgun, Palmer glued to the hip. Horvath taking a shot, surveying the field, as he's going to get this pass off outside of the sack, and Olivet going to take over on downs after a big 4th down stop for the Comets.
And I believe that was Dennis Simmons with the sack, senior. Big part of that defensive line. Good stop for the Comets.
As Olivet going to take over on downs now, set up 1st and 10, ball on their 27-yard line, as they're going to have 9 minutes, 53 seconds remaining in the first half to try and drive down the field and extend their lead, as right now they're only up 7, 13-6 over the Alfred State Pioneers.
Well, let's see if they switch anything up here. They've been going with that run attack. They have been passing sometimes, but in typical Olivet fashion, they have been running. So let's see if they change anything up here, or if they go with the status quo.
As it's going to be Faust in the pistol. He's going to have 2 receivers over to his left, 1 to the right. Taking the snap, he's going to just hand it off to the tailback. That one going to be Samuel Canucci. Samuel Canucci is going to find a whole hurdle. A man, he's going to keep the feet chopping, and oh my goodness, what athleticism, Samuel Canucci.
Calling the leapfrog, the way he's been hopping over the defenders. Again, Samuel Canucci, Dontel Wright, that pair, along with Thomas Faust, just incredible on the run game, and they really make up that Olivet offense.
I mean, I'm praying someone just got a picture of that hurdle there for Canucci. Canucci literally put the hand on the back of the helmet and used it as some momentum to keep him pushing. As Faust is going to be in the shotgun, tailback in the backfield with him as he's just going to hand it off. This one going to be Samuel Canucci. Once again, Canucci just trying to truck through that defense, and he's going to get another good gain of about 10 yards, 11 yards. We'll see where they mark him down, and he's going to pick up the first down here for Olivet.
The speed and athleticism of Canucci and Wright, combined with the blocking prowess of Olivet, are allowing these kinds of plays to happen and allowing the running backs to run to daylight.
I mean, the offensive line right now is clicking, setting the edges, finding the holes for these running backs to execute. As now in the pistol it goes for Faust. Two receivers on each side, and he's going to have a tailback in the backfield. That one going to be Donto Wright now. Donto Wright, run after run by Samuel Canucci, giving it to Donto Wright, and then getting close to that first down marker. They're going to say he got it. So play after play after play, Olivet converting first downs.
Alfred State just can't seem to stop that, especially that defensive line and their linebackers. They can't seem to shake off the blocks from Olivet's offensive line and wide receivers.
As it's just the 9th rushing play of the game here for Olivet. They're going to hand it off, and it's going to be the 10th rushing play. This one given to Donto Wright, as Donto Wright's going to be contacted at the line of scrimmage, but he's still going to pick up about 4 yards on that carry.
Not a lot of holes there on that one, Sebastian. Good job by the Alfred State defense on preventing a big play.
8 minutes remaining here in the first half, as Olivet leads 13-6, just a touchdown score. They're trying to extend their lead right now. So they got, like I said, under 8 minutes now to do it. 7 minutes, 50 seconds to be exact, as receivers on each side and Faust in the shotgun. He's going to hand this one off to Donto Wright. Donto Wright finding a couple of guys, making a miss, and he's going to be brought down after picking up another first down. So this rushing attack for Olivet is moving this ball up and down the field dramatically.
And Dontel Wright is fast and he's lean. 5'9", 160 pounds. He's from Lansing, Michigan, and Sexton High School. Fantastic football player and a great play by the Comets there.
As what a play by Olivet to set it up, first and goal here. 7 minutes, 20 seconds, as they're going to have 7 yards to work for a touchdown, as Faust's going to take the snap, hand it off to Samuel Canucci. Canucci bouncing off linemen, and then he's going to be swarmed up by a pack of Pioneers.
Almost taking the entirety of Alfred State defense just to get him down.
Yeah, it did take a lot of white jerseys over there to bring down Canucci. As Olivet trying to find ways that they can punch this one in the end zone. However, there is going to be a timeout taken here on the field. So with that, going to take a 30-second break here on WOCR 89 1-1. Stick around for more Comet football. And welcome back to WOCR 89 1-1, as we're back after the injury timeout from the officials, as 13-6 is the score. 6 minutes, 53 seconds remaining here in this first half. Olivet looking to move up to a 2-score lead, with the score right now standing 13-6. Olivet leads it, ball on Alfred State's 4-yard line. Olivet just 4 yards away from punching it in, as Thomas Faust going to take the snap, try and keep it himself and find his way into the end zone. However, I believe he's going to be a little short there, as I think he might just be inches short, Jack.
Inches short of a hat trick there. Also, an important thing to note, the injured player, we believe, is Sam Canucci. Good news for the Comets, though. He walked off fine and looks to be all right.
Yeah, he did jump back up in a hurry, ran off on his own power. Something you really love to see is lining up now, Olivet in the shotgun. They're going to have 3 receivers to the right, and the tailback is Donto Wright. They're just going to hand this one off to Donto Wright, and Donto Wright's into the end zone for a touchdown. 6 points, Comets.
And when one of your running backs is out, you have second one to deliver those big plays, and Olivet up by 13 here.
And I mean, it's not like Olivet really has one starter. I mean, we talked about it a little bit. Both Canugi and Dontel Wright are prime pieces of this offense, as Canugi 204 yards on the season coming into this game, and Dontel Wright 195 yards coming into this game on the season, as Dontel Wright's going to score his third touchdown on the season on that last play.
It only helps when you have a quarterback who actually, despite missing 1.5 games, still leads the team in rushing yards. That might change after today, but before this game, he did lead Canugi and Wright in rushing yards, so the rushing game for Olivet's truly elite.
Yeah, there's a lot of different guys that they can give the ball to and hurt you with. I mean, even through the air, when it gets over there to Cerquarius Ball, that's a dangerous man that has the ball in his hands. As Faust going to take the quick snap, throw the check down in the backfield for Dontel Wright. However, Dontel Wright's just going to miss it and then hop on it, as the 2-point conversion for Olivet not going to be good, as they're just going to extend the lead up 6 points. 19-6 is where we stand.
Another failed conversion there by the Comets. Nothing too worrisome, but it is something that you need to clean up.
Yeah, it's definitely something you need to clean up, and a surprise they went for 2 there, not just electing to kick the field goal and move their lead up to 14 points, as now they sit there leading by 13 as the 19-6 lead for Olivet with just about 6 minutes remaining here in this first half.
And Alfred State's now in a bit of a deeper hole. Let's see if they can put some points on the board and put some pressure on the Comets.
Needing to put some pressure on the Comets, definitely for sure, are the Pioneers. They're going to need to find a score here to end the first half if they're going to stay competitive in this game, as 19-6 is the score. 2 scores is the lead for Olivet. As sending it back deep for Olivet is number 83, as this one's going to be Wesley Franco. Franco's going to send this one deep, and in return at the 5-yard line, this one is going to be a good return here for Alfred State, as they're going to take it in at the 5 and return it back to about the 30-yard line, as that one's going to be, again, number 36, Noah Courier.
Took a lot of Comets to get him down, so much so his helmet fell off.
Yeah, some aggressive tackling on the field by both teams. I mean, it just shows you how badly each of these teams want it. Alfred State looking for their first win against a Michigan team. And Olivet's not going to be the team to give it to you easily.
No, they great on the defensive end, great on the offensive end. And Alfred State, we're going to have to see if they match that. Noah Courier hasn't had a ton of kick returns, only one before this game, but that one was for 77 yards. So maybe we'll see more of him in this game.
As Thomas Faust so far on the ground and through the air, looking really good. However, Horvath needs to find an answer right here. Horvath taking a snap. He's just going to hand this one off, and that's going to be the number 4 running back, as that's Josh Graham.
Great stop by the Comets. I believe that was number 92, Dennis Simmons, on the tackle for loss there.
Yeah, Dennis Simmons, one of the last remaining seniors on this defensive line that was really here with Jalen Rogers, Tamar Hart, and the defensive, just onslaught team that Olivet had at the beginning of my college career. Has now lined up, trips right. It goes, Horvath just going to throw a check down to Palmer. Palmer, however, going to turn on the burners, fight for yardage. And it looks like he might pick up the first down, brought down right around that first down marker, as he definitely does have it. We can see it up from here. It's almost straight up with us, Jack, that we can see that Palmer got that first down.
Indeed we can, and it's more troublesome for any offense when you have 2 experienced guys in Ricky Williamson and Dennis Simmons on each defensive end. You have more, you still have Dylan Weaver and Domenico Tejada on the inside, but 2 seniors on the defensive ends, troublesome for offenses.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem. The big guys out on the edges, like Olivet has. As Horvath going to take this snap, throw it behind Francois, as intended for number 1, Jazir Francois. That one just a little bit behind him. Need to hit those receivers in stride.
And especially because Horvath and Francois, great pairing. Horvath thrown for 768 yards, Francois 318 yards. They clearly work together, and you need to complete those passes.
Horvath in the shotgun, as he's going to have Graham in the backfield, as it's going to be 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Horvath in the shotgun. reading this Olivet defense. He's going to take the snap, throw it over, and that one's going to be completed. That's going to find Matthew Mancuso, as Mancuso is going to have a grab and a first down here for Alfred State.
Matthew Mancuso is a guy that you might not expect to have a big game, but he's somebody you need to watch out for. 8 receptions before this game, 101 yards, third in each category. Not a touchdown yet, but he's certainly the guy who could certainly get his first career touchdown today.
4 minutes, 23 seconds remaining in this first half. Alfred State getting the play call from the sideline. Horvath looking at that play wrist sheet as in the shotgun, 2 receivers each side. He's going to have Palmer right at the hip. Horvath taking the snap. He's going to roll out right. Pressure coming. Dennis Simmons giving chase. Dennis Simmons trying to get to him. Horvath going to get the pass off, though. That one's going to be thrown out of bounds, so good way to avoid the pressure because, man, oh, man, was Dennis Simmons in that 6'3" size chasing Horvath down.
Simmons and Domenico Tejada making Horvath run for his life on that play, and resulted in a throw out of bounds for the Pioneers.
4 minutes remaining here in the first half. 19-6 is the lead for Olivet. Just a 13-point lead. As they're looking, Alfred State is looking to get back into this game on this drive. Ball on Olivet's 46-yard line. Horvath taking the snap. He's going to look right side. He's going to have this one completed, but not before he gets stopped before that first down, as that catches once again Matthew Mancuso.
Again, those short passes, you know, they aren't necessarily highlight plays, but they can certainly get you down there as the bells are tolling here.
Yeah, it is a big third down for Olivet, trying to stop Alfred State in tracks. Just third down, 3 yards to go, ball on the 39-yard line. 3 minutes, 39 seconds. Olivet still leads 19-6. Horvath and company looking towards the sideline as he's going to have Graham in the backfield, 2 receivers each side. Shotgun taking a snap, pressure coming from Simmons. There's going to be a flag on the play, as Horvath's just going to evade the pressure, and he's going to get a hand there from Amir Jones down on the defensive line. As Jones is bringing the pressure, but good sportsmanship like right there out of Amir Jones.
Yeah, he rushed all the way down to about the 40, maybe 35-yard line, and Horvath was down, and Amir Jones just gave him a hand and helped him up. Great showing by Amir Jones there.
As a holding call is going to go against Alfred State, as it's going to be repeating third down, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 13 here for Alfred State, and that's definitely not what you want after that last play, and kind of erasing what was a 3rd and 3 and now 3rd and long.
I believe that is the first penalty for Alfred State today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I do believe you're correct on that. They've been playing pretty clean here so far in this first half. I mean, we haven't seen many penalties out of either team, as 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, as Graham's going to be in the backfield with Horvath, as Graham's going to be on that left side in the backfield. As Alfred State confused, looking to see what the play call is going to be. Horvath, however, taking the snap. He's going to look to throw the check down. Is that one up and over, incomplete, as the intended receiver there is for Josh Graham.
And it looks like there was several Alfred State players around the middle of the field, so a lot of players besides Graham could have possibly caught that.
Yeah, there was a lot of players in the middle of the field here for Olivet and Alfred State. A tipped ball, very dangerous though, when it just barely sneaks out past that defensive line. Surprised nobody was able to get a hand on it from either team, as that one just seemingly goes incomplete. So 4th and 13, a punting unit coming out for each team, as Nate Briggs going to be sent back to return this one, as Riley Van Fleet, is going to punt this one away for Alfred State. And a good punt. This one going to be taken in over the head of Nate Briggs as he catches it, and he's going to get a big hit delivered. Olivet not going to start out in good field positioning. They're going to be pinned inside their 10-yard line. Ball on the 6.
And guess who it was, Sebastian? Jeremiah Nixon. He's such a big factor on that defense, and it even shows on those punt returns.
Yeah, I mean, when you can bring somebody down in a hurry, and, I mean, Nixon is just he's an absolute threat on the defensive side. I mean, 18 tackles, 17 assists. That's 35 tackles in total, and then 2 sacks and 4 tackles for loss. I mean, he can get in the backfield and he can disrupt what an offense has going. However, Olivet finding the better numbers so far in the first half. Is Olivet going to start this drive, ball on this 5-yard line, 3:13 left to go in the first half, looking to put up a score before the end of the first half. As now, Evan Ormsby going to be, as Evan Ormsby in play here in quarterback, as it's going to be delay of game on the offense. However, Ormsby and a couple of comments kind of pointing down and really confused now, as that delay of game really not going to help them when they're starting off ball on the 5-yard line. But just a miscommunication and some confusion down there on the field for the Comets right now, as they're going to take this one. Ball on the 3-yard line, 1st and 12. Evan Ormsby, the new quarterback, in for Olivet, as Ormsby's going to take the handoff, fake it. He's going to throw this one out to the check down, and they're not going to get much of a gain, if anything at all. They might even lose a yard on that play.
And with Ormsby now the quarterback, taking over for Thomas Faust, at least for this drive, expect kind of some more risk-taking on the passing end. Ormsby has more of an arm than Faust does, but he also has thrown more interceptions. In fact, Faust hasn't thrown a single interception in any game he's played, but Ormsby has more interceptions than touchdowns, I believe, in his career. So, I mean, if they're going to pass the ball, expect some more risk-taking from Olivet here.
As 2 receivers each side for Olivet, Ormsby in the shotgun, as he's going to take the snap, drop back, look over the middle of the field, as this one's just going to be lofted up. Nobody, I would say, even 10 yards around that ball. So questionable throw there by Olivet and Evan Ormsby, as 2 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in the first half, and it is going to be 3rd and 12 Olivet's facing.
There must have been an invisible receiver there, because there was no one around that ball.
Yeah, not sure. I mean, trying to leave it up top maybe for the intended receiver that he threw it over. I do believe it was Sherquarius' ball he was looking for, but that was left way high, I will say.
Didn't know the invisible man was playing college football, but you learn something every day.
You do learn something every day. As 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, Ormsby in the shotgun. He's going to be alone back there, so pass play coming. Reading the field, surveying. He's going to find Sirquarius' ball in rhythm. So the pass that was left up top and erased. Evan Ormsby delivers a good ball right there, and now it's a 1st down, and Olivet has breathing room down on that backfield.
Great recovery from Ormsby in the Olivet offense, and that was Sirquarius' ball yet again. If they're going to be passing the ball, expect them to pass to him a lot.
As 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left is Sirquarius' ball, the lone receiver to the left. Ormsby in the shotgun by himself, so another pass play here, but another ball that's just too wide and too far out of stride for receivers to hit. The intended receiver on that play, Dontel Wright. Evan Ormsby just needs to kind of reel it in and get those throws to the receiver's chest, not lead them too far or leave it too high up top.
There's a stark difference between the completion percentages of Horvath, Alfred State's quarterback, and the quarterbacks for Olivet, as Horvath has 65%, while Ormsby and Faust are 53 and 52 respectively.
As in the pistol goes Evan Ormsby, as there's going to be 3 receivers over to his left, or right, excuse me, as he's just going to pitch this one over to Dontel Wright. Dontel Wright getting some blocks over on the edge. He's going to be bounced out of bounds before hitting the 40-yard line, but that is a good pickup there for Olivet.
After a couple unsuccessful pass plays, they go back to what Olivet's known for, their running game. I believe that was Dontel Wright on that run there, and look at that, 1st down for the Comets.
Yeah, after the incomplete pass there to Dontel Wright, the run game doing them better, as a 15-yard run there for Dontel Wright. Ormsby taking the snap, surveying the field. He's going to throw this one. It's tipped, and then incomplete. So good job by Alfred State defensive line to hop up and get a finger on that one.
Yeah, great job by the Alfred State defense on affecting that pass there.
As Alfred State needing to keep Olivet out of the end zone. 1:48 remaining here in this first half. 19-6 is the score. A 13-point lead for the Comets on their home field, as it's looking to be the first win for Olivet at home since the university name change. Evan Ormsby dropping back to pass again. Intended for Sherquarius' ball, as that one was right there kind of in the rhythm. Just, however, Sherquarius' ball not ready for it. By the time he looked for it, that ball was already behind him and way gone.
We're going to have to see if the incompletions continue for Evan Ormsby. We're going to have to see if they stick with him or if they're just going to go back to Thomas Faust. Perhaps the strategy here was to give Faust a rest and just have QB2 step in, but, you know, if incompletions continue, you really can't go on like this.
Evan Ormsby in the shotgun. He's going to have 3 receivers to his right, as he's going to leave this one up for Sequarius. Ball, what a grab if it stands, and they're going to say he caught it. Oh my goodness, went up and grabbed it, and excuse me again, the 8 and the 0 looking alike, as that one going to be Nate Briggs. Oh my goodness.
Highlight reel for Nate Briggs. What a catch on the near sideline. 1st and 10 for the Comets.
Nate Briggs going up, using the one-hand grab and bringing it down, looking like Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
As in the shotgun, Faust with a tailback. He's going to have 2 receivers on each side. Taking the snap, dropping back, surveying the field. He's going to throw a check down. That one hitting Samuel Canucci in stride. Canucci stiff-arming a man into the ground, going towards that sideline. He's going to be tripped up, but getting to the 30-yard line, and now Olivet's got some rhythm.
That really seemed like the only option on the pass play, as Alfred State secondary was doing a good job of keeping all of the deep options available. But Samuel Canucci finds a way. Again, you just can't stop him if you're Alfred State, and you really need to try to.
1 minute, 30 seconds remaining here in the first half. 19-6 is the lead. Olivet leads it by 13 points. 1st and 10, ball on Alfred State's 32-yard line. Alfred State looking to keep Olivet out of the end zone. Ormsby in the pistol. He's going to motion out Canucci in the backfield. Throw it over right side to Christopher White. Christopher White, the young freshman, fighting. He's literally going to have 7 Pioneers on his back, as he's just trying to do everything he can to pick up that first. But he's going to be marked just about yards short there, but a good pickup of about 6 yards on the play.
The freshman showing that he's so difficult to get down. Good showing by one of the new guys, as Coach Moose would call him.
As 2 receivers each side, Ormsby going to be in the shotgun. He's going to have Dontel Wright to his left in the backfield. Ormsby going to drop back to pass. He's going to look over the middle of the field. He finds another receiver, as that one going to be Cole Shoebridge. Shoebridge making the reception, picking up the first down. Olivet now in the red zone, as they're under a minute, under 50 seconds, 46 seconds remaining in this first half. Olivet, hurry-up offense, trying to put some points up on the board. Ormsby taking the snap, once again looking to pass. He's going to throw it over the right side. That one going to be intended for Keon Johnson, however, incomplete and left up top by Evan Ormsby.
And Keon Johnson was a wide open man. That's the second time that a receiver has been open, and Ormsby just couldn't find him.
As Keon Johnson on the season so far, 4 receptions for 37 yards, and looking for that first touchdown, as it's going to be a timeout taken by Alfred State. So with that, we're going to take a 30-second break here on WOCR 89 1-1. Stick around for more Comet football. And welcome back to WOCR 89 1-1. My name's Sebastian O'Leary, joined alongside my broadcast partner, Jack Webb, as it's been a good game so far. 36 seconds remaining here in the first half. 19-6 the score. Olivet leads it. Jack, how are we feeling so far?
Feeling fantastic. Love to watch some college football. Going great.
It's even more fun to call it.
Oh, it is.
Just watching
really.
it. As first game for you here on the station, so far hanging in there, doing a good job. As in the shotgun, going to be Evan Ormsby. He's going to send a man in motion. As he's taking a snap, he's going to survey the field, looking to pass yet again, taking a corner shot for the end zone. Sequarius ball, that one's up, waiting on the call. Touchdown, Olivet.
What a find by Evan Ormsby there. Sequarius on that far corner. What a catch, what a throw. Touchdown, Comets.
And right there, Olivet, 30 seconds before the half, finding another score up on the board, and they're going to extend that lead. However, there's a flag on the play, as the sigh from the home team here is really felt out.
Illegal motion, number 3, offense.
As it's going to be an illegal motion called against Donto Wright, and that touchdown is going to come back. So what a dot there by Evan Ormsby, as struggling when he first came in here on this drive, lobs up a ball there for Cerqueiri's ball in the corner of the end zone, and it was caught and converted. However, that flag there and the penalty troubles for Olivet going to keep rolling on.
Penalties are really momentum killers. Let's see if Evan Ormsby can repeat that success, though, without the penalty, of course.
Yeah, definitely looking to do something without the penalty. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Ormsby, lone man in the backfield. He's going to throw this one up. Cole Shoebridge, the intended receiver, as it hits him in the hands and unable to make the catch there. If Cole Shoebridge could have caught that, he'd have walked on in for a touchdown.
And the coaches next to us aren't too happy about that. That would have been a pretty good completion, but it just went through the hands of the intended receiver there.
Yeah, Cole Shoebridge not able to hang on and make that play. As now with just 25 seconds remaining in this game, or in the first half, not the game, excuse me. 3rd down, 15 yards for Olivet to try and draw something up here. Ball on the 25-yard line after what was a big penalty, bringing back a touchdown for Cerqueiri's ball. Scores 19-6. 25 seconds remaining, as there's going to be a timeout taken here by Olivet. So, Jack, the penalty's a really big one and a really big killer here for Olivet, taking back what would have been another touchdown.
I wonder what Coach Moose called that timeout for. I mean, that was a highlight play right there, and a penalty just took it back. And if you're Olivet, you just can't have that, because you'd be up. I'd say if you made the conversion, you'd be up by, I'd say, 19 points. Yeah, still a good lead, but you got if this game was much closer, and if it was like in the 4th quarter, that would have been even more deadly for the Comets' chances.
As Ormsby coming into this game, he's only had 1 drive so far, the drive we're currently on. He's 6 for 12, 62 yards, and finding his rhythm here through the air so far, as Olivet leads Alfred State 19-6, 25 seconds remaining here in the first half. And Olivet, after what was a penalty, taking away a touchdown, looking to put another score up on the board here, because they want to extend the lead over the Pioneers.
And they still have 2 downs and 25 seconds to get something on the board here.
As Olivet's also going to start off with the ball here in the second half, after deferring and taking it and kicking it to start this game. Evan Ormsby now in the shotgun. Another shot towards the end zone, as this one up there for Nate Briggs. However, unable to bring it back down, so a good shot towards the end zone. Nate Briggs, however, just not able to keep the hands on that one. I mean, it was lofted up there, so Briggs having to jump up and go and get it, just not able to bring it down.
That would have been another great catch for Olivet, as Briggs getting some air on that one and trying to get the ball for the 6, but didn't work. 19 seconds left and 1 down at least to get some more points on the board.
19 seconds remaining. Olivet leads it 19-6. They're going to go for it here, 4th and 15. Ball on the 25. Evan Ormsby taking the snap, throwing over the middle of the field, as that one's just going to be too far, but there is a flag on the play, as I saw some jersey tugging down there on the field, as Kevin LeBron Hill, the freshman, he was looking for it. Just like I said, some jersey tugging on the field. We're going to see what this call is, as it's going to be a hold call going against Alfred State, as that one, number 3, David Harrell, making a big penalty there to keep this drive alive towards the closing stages of this first half, and now it sets up 1st and goal here for Olivet.
Great break for Olivet, and costly penalty for Alfred State. David Harrell, the junior from Brooklyn, New York, one of the guys to watch out for on this Alfred State defense.
As it's actually not going to set up 1st and goal. The yardsticks over there were all down, but picked them back up now. 1st and 10 here for Olivet. Ormsby going through the air again, looking, shooting for Cerqueiri's ball in the corner. However, not going to make the catch in bounds. Good effort, though, by Ormsby and Cerqueiri's ball.
Looks like Ormsby and the Olivet offense are really focusing on putting the ball in the far corners. I mean, we saw that with Cerqueiri's ball over on that side. That was a touchdown that was taken back. And even with some incompletions, they're all going for those far corners. And let's see, maybe they'll go to the middle this time.
Yeah, I mean, with players like Sirquarius Ball, Cole Shoebridge, and some other receivers that have the height for Olivet. Obviously, the corners and a jump ball in the end zone, obviously ideal. Ormsby taking the snap now again, looking through the air. Is this one intended for Sirquarius Ball again? However, left up too high. That one incomplete, but nice job by Olivet to get these plays going quickly. That way they still leave themselves with opportunities. They're just taking couple seconds after couple seconds off the clock, as 3rd and 10 is going to be the play call here, or 3rd and 10 is going to be the distance. 6 seconds remaining here, as it seems to be like they're going for the field goal here, as it's going to be number 83 for Olivet. That's going to be Christian Legal out here kicking the field goal for Olivet. As the snap, the hold, trouble with the hold, and the kick's going to be up, and it's affected by the hold, as not able to cleanly get it down there on the field. Number 22, Blake Hawkins, the holder, just kind of messed it up and wasn't able to get a clean kickoff, so that's going to take it all the way down. First half of action in the books. 19-6 is the score. Jack, we've seen some good things, we've seen some bad things, but what has really impressed you from both these teams in that first half?
For Olivet, I'd have to say that running game. That's really the cause of all of the touchdowns they've scored. And a thing that surprised me for Alfred State is, they really aren't focusing on that passing game a lot. I mean, their only score came from a bomb to Jazier Francois, and you really need to get him more involved because, as we said before the game, he leads Alfred State in receptions and in receiving yards. Before the game, he had 17 receptions for 318 yards, 4 touchdowns, his longest reception, which could have very well have been broken in that first half, 73 yards. So you really, for Alfred State, you need to get the passing game involved. You can't really rely on the running game. You have to kind of mix it up a little bit. In terms of Olivet's passing game, Evan Ormsby, as we said, he likes to take risks, and we saw that on the last drive. He taking a lot of deep shots and a couple near interceptions. Would you agree, Sebastian? Especially that last play before the kick, it kind of went through the hands of 2 Alfred State D-backs. So he really needs to be careful if he's going to stay out in this game. And if Thomas Faust comes back in, he's going to have to, if he decides to pass, he's really going to have to reduce the risks. In terms of penalties, both teams, they don't have a ton of penalties, but it's enough to the point that you need to point it out. They both need to kind of clean up their act a bit, because we just saw on that last play, Olivet would have been up by, if they had made the extra point, they would have been up by 19 at the start of this half, and at the end of this half, rather. But that incredible catch by Sirquarius Ball and that incredible throw by Evan Ormsby was taken back due to a careless penalty. So for both teams, you really need to clean up your act. I think defensively, Alfred State needs to clean up the run game a little bit. I mean, yes, they do average more, they do allow more running yards than passing yards, but I think that's something that they're really going to talk about in the locker room during halftime. They really need to step up that game. I know Donto Wright and Samuel Canucci and even Thomas Faust are really hard to stop given their athleticism and speed, but you really got to do your best in terms of stopping them. I think the Alfred State passing defense is doing pretty well, and I think I could say the same for Olivet's defense as well.
Yeah, I would have to completely agree with you. I mean, defensively, Alfred State throughout the season on average gives up 186 yards per game. However, in that first half, 190 yards on the ground for Olivet. But we're going to take a half or just a little break here for us on the station. I mean, it's well-deserved between you and I, Jack, but we'll be back here after halftime in about 20 minutes. Stick around here on WOCR 89 1-1 for more Comet football. Welcome back to WOCR 89-1-1. One half of action in the books. Olivet leads Alfred State 19-6. As it's been a good game so far. Like we said, first half of action in the books. My name's Sebastian O'Leary, joined alongside by Jack Webb, as we are set here to kick off the second half. Olivet's receiving after they deferred the opening kickoff and sent it Alfred State way to start this ball game. It's been a great game, bunch of positives, bunch of negatives for both of these teams. A lot of things that should have been ironed out at halftime. We'll see how unwrinkled the shirts are now, as starting off the second half and sending this one deep for Alfred State. That's going to be number 84, Maxwell DeMar, as this one's going to be taken in around the 15-yard line and then returned out past the 35. So good job by the return team and Nate Briggs there to start off Olivet's field positioning in an exceptional spot.
And now they have a chance early on in the second half to get some more points on the board, to expand their lead, maybe to the point where it becomes insurmountable for Alfred State. But Alfred State's job during these defensive, during their time on defense, is to prevent that and then get their offense on the field so that they can chip away at this 13-point lead.
As quarterback one, Thomas Faust is going to be back out there and in action. The last drive for Olivet, they ended it with Evan Ormsby under center, as now Faust back in it in the pistol. Sending a man in motion. He's going to take the snap, misdirection handoff to Dontel Wright. Dontel Wright hitting the seams, hurdling a couple of Pioneers. And we're going to see where they mark it. He's going to be close to that first down marker, but oh my goodness, athleticism.
That is the second time today that we've seen a running back for Olivet either successfully or unsuccessfully hurdling an Alfred State player. That just shows their peak athleticism.
As first play running out of the gates in the second half, it's a first down. One play, one first down here in the second half for Olivet. 14 minutes, 30 seconds to go, third quarter of action. As Faust in the shotgun, he's going to take the handoff. He's going to fake it, keep it himself, and he's going to bounce off a couple of defenders. There's a flag on the play, as it's going to take about 5 defenders to stop Thomas Faust in his tracks.
Faust just refuses to go down on that play. Good job.
As we're going to see what the flag is on the play and who's it's going to go against. As officials still having conversation down on the field. Both teams not sure of what the mistake could have been. As it's going to be holding going against Olivet. It's a 10-yard penalty. And it's going to take them back to before even picking up the first down. So now it's going to be first and long, first and 20 to be exact.
And there goes Olivet again with the holding penalties. You got to stop that because you're building momentum early on in the second half. You don't want to waste that because that momentum leads to an extra 6.
4 minutes, 10 seconds here in the third quarter. Faust in the pistol. He's going to take the snap, hand it off. That one's going to be Dontel Wright across the edge. Dontel Wright trying to get back towards that sideline. He's going to be wrapped up and tackled. Good piece of shoestring tackling there by Riley Van Fleet.
Riley Van Fleet, a player that you really need to look for because not only is he good on the special teams, he punts, he returns punts, but he also leads the team in interceptions. He might not have a ton of tackles on the season, but he's really somebody you need to look out for, especially if you're on the passing game, if you're Olivet.
As the ground attack and passing attack for Olivet, 12 rushing plays to their 6 passing plays. As Faust in the shotgun, he's going to take the handoff and he's going to keep it himself. Fake the handoff to Samuel Canucci, and he's going to get a gain of about 3 yards on that play and bring up third down.
Thomas Faust isn't afraid of contact. You saw him go between 2 or maybe even 3 Alfred State defenders there before finally being brought down. Great showing by Thomas Faust there.
3rd and 5, 13 minutes, 10 seconds in the third quarter. 19-6 the lead. Olivet leads by 13. As ball on the 47-yard line of Alfred State, just barely into enemy territory as Olivet looking to convert here, 3rd and 5. As Faust in the pistol, he's going to send a man in motion as he's just going to pitch it out right side to Samuel Canucci. Samuel Canucci going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage as he's going to lose about a yard on that play.
Fantastic stop by the Alfred State defense. They read that offense like a book. Could have been a really big play, but they were prepared and they stopped them, and it's a 4th down and 6 for the Comets.
As now Fulton Reed and that Olivet punting unit coming out onto the field, as back deep to receive for Alfred State is going to be Riley Van Fleet. As he's the punter, he's the punt returner, and he's a safety here for Alfred State. He's been doing big things here in this game against Olivet. Score still remaining where it's at, as Olivet's going to get this punt off, almost blocked. Good attempt there by Alfred State. Van Fleet going to take this in at the 17-yard line, bounce out past the 20, now the 30, as he's going to find the sideline and then get bounced out around the 40-yard line, and that's going to be an exceptional starting position for Alfred State.
And yeah, Riley Van Fleet is Alfred State's do-it-all man. He's active in the special teams, but he also plays a very key point in their secondary. And we've kind of seen that when Alfred State's been kind of guarding the pass a little bit, especially on that last drive. So now Alfred State will get a chance to showcase their offensive abilities here in the second half.
Alfred State going to start 1st and 10, ball on their 35-yard line. 12 minutes remaining here, third quarter of action, 19-6 the score, as Alfred State looking to find something here on this first drive of the second half. As this one's going to be Horvath in the shotgun, 2 receivers each side. He's going to hand it to Palmer, fake the handoff, roll out right side. He's going to complete this one, however, dropped right at the line of scrimmage it goes, and that one's going to be number 45, Noah Silfer.
Great stop there by Noah. Again, defensive line for Olivet applying that pressure to Horvath and making him, getting him to make some rush decisions a little bit.
2nd and 10 following the no gain on the play. 11 minutes, 30 seconds in the third quarter, as it's going to be 2nd and 10. Ball still on the 35-yard line. Third quarter of action here. 11 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. As Horvath going to take this one, sling it over left side. That one's going to be completed, as that's number 6, Matt Mancuso.
As we said in the first half, though, watch out for Mancuso to have a sneaky good game today. Stats, when you're looking at the stats, Alfred State sorts him out by receptions. He's only 5th in receptions, but he's 3rd in receiving yards. And he's also up there in terms of touchdowns and long receptions, as well as averages as well.
As another conversion here, 1st and 10 now, ball on the 46. A gain of 11 for the Pioneers. In the pistol, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and they're going to have Palmer in the backfield. As Horvath's going to fake the handoff to Palmer. He's going to do the play action. He's going to fling it over middle. That one's going to be complete, wide open down the field, 20, 10, touchdown, Alfred State.
And there goes Matthew Mancuso again, wide open. A breakdown by the Olivet secondary again. And Alfred State chips away at that lead. That was their goal heading into this half, and so far they're executing on that. Olivet secondary needs to step up a little bit and guard those guys.
Yeah, a quick drive here to start off the second half for Alfred State, and they're going to bring this one back within 7, awaiting the PAT now. As the last PAT was blocked here by Olivet's special teams unit, so looking for another one again. However, Alfred State looking for the PAT, the snap, the hold, and the kick, all up and all good, as that one is now just a 6-point lead for Olivet, 19-13, 10 minutes, 37 seconds remaining in the third quarter. As Alfred State put together a good drive, and they are attacking Olivet through the air, and Matthew Mancuso finds his way on the board and in the end zone.
In these drives, they're really focusing on the passing game. I mean, we kind of talked about how Jake Palmer and Josh Graham, they were the 2 main guys, mainly Jake Palmer, though, on the rushing game. But if you look at the live stats, they're just not doing a good job at getting the running backs the ball, but that's okay because they're finding a lot of success with Horvath and the passing game, and that really seems to be the one hole that they found in Olivet's defense. They can't seem to guard that far sideline, out during that far sideline. They can't seem to get it, whether it be Francois or Mancuso. They need to get out there and prevent those touchdowns, because if it weren't for that, it'd be a shutout right now.
Yeah, Horvath and that offense. Horvath throwing for 11 completions out of 16 attempts, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So he's putting together a good game here, as 19-13 is the score, as Alfred State's going to boot this one deep to Olivet, as this one's going to be taken in around the 25-yard line, and they're going to have a hole here. This one, number 5 for Olivet, and that's going to be Keontae Buck, taking that one after a big gainer. Excuse me, that's number 6, not number 5. as that one's going to be Isaac Rowe.
Isaac Rowe in past games has gotten some touches on those returns, and he hasn't disappointed. So it's a bit of an out of the box option for Olivet on the return side of things. So maybe we see them use him more, but that was certainly a good return by number 6 in red.
Yeah, not necessarily the deepest of kicks by Alfred State, as they set up Olivet really good in field position. I mean, it's still a 24-yard return after they took it and returned it from the 20-yard line, as ball on the 44-yard line of Olivet. Thomas and company out here. Faust's going to take the shotgun snap. He's going to look back to pass, but that one's going to be low and intended there for Jonathan Holloway.
Just a little short there by Faust. You got to complete those passes, because a completed pass there could have got you close to that first down marker.
As Kevin LeBron Hill right there, number 12 on the attempt, but just a little low there for them to complete it. Faust has got to get those throws up just a little bit. 2nd and 10 here, ball on the 44-yard line, 10 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the third. Olivet leads it 19-13. Handoff to Dontel Wright up the middle, as he's going to pick up about a yard or two. We'll see where the officials mark it, but not a lot of room there for Dontel Wright to breathe.
Yeah, Kevin LeBron Hill, a freshman, 5'8", 165 from Allen Park, Michigan. We haven't seen him play that much this season, but he really is getting some good reps. That's definitely what Coach Moose talked about when he said that he wants to utilize young guys more, and they've earned it, and I would assume that's why Kevin LeBron Hill is getting reps today.
10 minutes in the third. As Faust's going to send a man in motion in the shotgun. He's going to take the snap, survey the defense. He's going to throw this one over to the sideline. That one's going to be completed, as he just got that one in a hurry to Cerquarius Ball.
And it sets up a 4th down that you could easily go for. I mean, it isn't too risky. You'd be near the 50-yard line. If you wanted to go for it, you could, and it looks like they are, unless they switch it up last minute. But, you know, it wouldn't be bad to go for it here, and it looks like that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, Olivet aggressive in nature right now. 19-13 to score, 9 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the third. Faust in the shotgun. He's going to have a tailback in the backfield. He's just going to hand it off to Dontel Wright. Dontel Wright makes everybody miss. The 30, the 20, the 10. Dontel Wright merely untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Comets.
Someone calls security. We got a dog on the field. Dontel Wright to the end zone yet again. Comets 25-13. What a play by Dontel Wright and the Comets.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely what they needed right there. A 4th and 3rd turns into a huge gain for the Comets and a touchdown, extending their lead now 25-13 as we are awaiting the extra point attempt.
That angle was beautiful. Great blocks on the outside, and Dontel Wright had the angle. He just had everybody beat, and it was green grass and a red end zone from there.
As Wesley Franco out to send this one up and through the uprights. As the snap, the hold, the kick, is everything up, and everything's good. As now with the score up 26-13, Olivet leads it. 9 minutes, 10 seconds remaining here in the third, and we've got a couple of scores back-to-back from both of these teams.
Absolutely, back to a 13-point lead for the Comets, and something you've probably noticed throughout the broadcast, Olivet uses a trio of kickers. They use Christian Legal, Tristan McElhenney, and on the last play they used Wesley Franco. 2 of them are freshmen, Legal and Franco. I don't think we've seen Legal yet today, but McElhenney is a junior. All 3 of them have been active in terms of kicking, and it's possible that we see Legal come out and you have all 3 of them play today.
Well, I will say here, Jack, I don't know if you know this, but we're not going to be seeing Christian Legal here today because he's actually a dual sport athlete here at the University of Olivet. And he's playing a soccer game here. I do believe he went and traveled with the reserve team.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
I'm not sure exactly where they went to play that game, but I do know there's a soccer game, and Legal traveled with them to make it Franco's kicking duties here today, as we're wishing the soccer team the best of luck. However, back to the action on the football field. Franco sending this one deep. Alfred State going to return this inside their own 5-yard line. As Alfred State, they're moving. They're going to get a big return here, as this one going to be number 36 on the return team, as Courier yet again having success all day long in the return game, and another big one there to set up Alfred State successfully.
As we said earlier in the broadcast, Courier, the ball carrier, only had one kick return before the game, but now he's getting a lot more reps, and his success is showing as he had a really good return there, and good job by the Alfred State return team on providing the holes for him, because he had a pretty big gap there before Olivet finally took him down.
Yeah, Courier, the 6-foot freshman hailing from Oakfield, New York, as he's doing some good things on the return game here in his freshman year for the Pioneers. As Horvath's going to take the shotgun snap now. Pressure coming. Dennis Simmons, he's going to get there. Sacked in the backfield. Comets making a stand.
And the bright spot for this Olivet defense has been that defensive line. And it doesn't matter what half it is. They're showing up to play. Dennis Simmons, Ricky Williamson, those guys especially, they're just completely forcing Horvath into a lot of bad decisions and causing a lot of loss of yardage for the Pioneers of Alfred State.
And we've talked about Simmons and Williamson being the last two remaining edge rushers here on what was a very, very strong D3 defense a couple of years ago at Tamar Hart. However, Horvath taking a snap, trying to find some room to fight with. However, he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage and pick up about a yard or two on the play there. However, it's going to bring up 3rd and long. But we were talking about that defense from a couple of years ago, presumably one of the best in Division III football with the likes of everyone they had. I mean, Tamar Hart playing indoor football professionally now. The defense they had, one of the best in the nation, and from then to now, they're still looking very strong.
Indeed they are, and they're showing that here today.
Horvath in the shotgun. He's going to have two receivers to the right, one to the left, and he's going to have Palmer at the hip in the backfield. As Horvath's going to take the snap, scan over the field, pressure coming from Olivet once again. Dennis Simmons getting there, but he's going to get this off. And this one incomplete, intended downfield for Ben Ba. Ba looking around saying, somebody touched me down there on the field, but no flag from the officials. And now it's going to bring up 4th down here for Alfred State.
And Ben Ba is that other receiver for Alfred State. He has the most experience. He is a senior in the only postseason game that Alfred State has attended during their time in D3, which goes back to about 2013. Ben Ba did play in that game, so he has a lot of experience, as it looks like Alfred State will be punting it away. And again, that 3rd down completion percentage for Alfred State continues to drop.
Yeah, Ben Ba, the senior, like you said, having all that experience this season, 13 catches for 135 yards, and he's averaging 34 yards per game. As this punt by Riley Van Fleet is going to be sent way downfield onto the other side. That's where Olivet's going to take over around the 32-yard line of their own territory.
Let's see what Olivet can cook up here. Let's see if Thomas Faust will stay in or if they will use this as an opportunity to bring back Evan Ormsby. We'll just have to see what happens. And maybe we'll also have to see how they will orient this drive. Will they continue with the run game, or will they maybe throw in some passing plays here and there? But it looks like, as we saw in the last drive and in many drives previous, the run game is really working for them, as Thomas Faust is confirmed to be the quarterback on this drive.
Yep, Faust and company back onto the field. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Faust in the shotgun with a tailback. He's going to drop back to pass. This one over the middle, behind the receiver, but hit Shoebridge in the hands. Drop pass incomplete for Cole Shoebridge.
And that might have been a little low, but you still gotta get it to your guys, and you still gotta catch those passes, because that was a pretty good, pretty wide open position there for Olivet.
Yeah, you gotta hit Shoebridge in the hands there and hit him in stride, because he was open over the middle of the field. However, the throw from Faust just a little behind him and a little low. Hard for Shoebridge to hold on. However, 2nd and 10 now, 7 minutes, 22 seconds. Faust going to take the snap. Another misdirect handoff here. Samuel Canucci trying to cut back, and Alfred State going to make a good stop behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to be a tackle for loss. Olivet and Samuel Canucci not able to get the edge right there.
Now, Alfred State has a bit of a knack for having tackles of losses, as at least compared to Olivet. Despite them playing one more game, they still have many more tackles for losses on the season. But that was a fantastic job out of the Alfred State defense to set Olivet's offense back a few yards and put the pressure on him, and might get him on a 3-and-out here.
26-13 the score. Olivet leads it at home. 6 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Third down and 13. Ball on Olivet's 29-yard line. Faust's going to take the shotgun snap. Throw the check down to Kanuji. Kanuji's got blocks. He's got the edge. And we'll see where he gets marked out of bounds at, as they are going to give him the first down, it seems to be. But however, Jack, there's a flag on the play.
It's crazy because one of the defenders, at least in the first half, number 31 for Alfred State, has yellow gloves. So it kind of looks like there's another flag on the field, but there is indeed one there.
Offense, number 13.
As it's going to be a hold called against number 13, Christopher White. Obviously, the block right there, you gotta grab in between the numbers and the shoulder pads. You can't go outside. You can't tug on jersey, because when you do, the officials are going to call it all day long.
Christopher White can't believe that call, isn't too happy about it, but it's a third down, and you got to convert here. The check down by Faust, fortunately, is wiped off the board here. Again, penalties are momentum killers, and if you're Olivet, you need to clean those up.
6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining third quarter of action. As 26-13 is the score here, as Faust just going to hand this one off to Dontel Wright after a penalty, bringing back their first down.
It would be a fourth down for the Comets. They just couldn't get enough yards on that play, so chains will not be moving for this drive, and Alfred State is now presented with a golden opportunity to really make this game a close one. If 7 more points on the board could get this within 10, and that would be exactly what Alfred State needs to do here.
Yeah, 26-13 the score. 5 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the third quarter, as Fulton Reed is about to send this one back deep for Riley Van Fleet. As this snap is going to be up and high for Fulton. However, a bad bounce off the foot, but it's going to take an Olivet couple of bounces and a roll out past the 40 and to the 39-yard line. And that's where Alfred State's going to start their drive. So not the punt that Fulton Reed is looking for off the foot. Kind of looked like a dead duck shot out of the air.
True, very true, Sebastian. And that was probably because of that snap. That was a very high snap, almost out of the hands and out of the reach of Fulton Reed, but he did get a grip on it. But I think that that awkward placing really affected the punt, and now Alfred State looks to be on the 39-yard line. Great field position, and they have a very important drive here. Let's see what they can do.
Alfred State now going to line up 3 receivers to the right and Palmer at the hip of Horvath in the backfield. As Horvath's going to take the snap, he's just going to throw the check down, and that one's going to be right to Palmer, as Palmer's going to be bouncing off defenders and then brought down after a big gain on the play.
Seems to be a common theme between these quarterbacks to throw a lot of checkdowns. I mean, sure, they have been going deep. I mean, you saw the passes that Horvath has gotten to Francois and Ben Ba, but at the same time, both Faust and Horvath are throwing a fair amount of checkdowns. So, I mean, that's something to look out for. I mean, it's certainly a play that's working for both sides, but it is certainly a trend that we are seeing here.
As Horvath in this game, 12 for 18, 220 yards, and 2 touchdowns to his name. A good game here on the road for Alfred State's sophomore quarterback. As Horvath looking towards the sideline, he's going to have 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, and he's going to have number 4, Josh Graham, in the backfield with him, as motioning Graham side to side. And then he's going to be glued back to the hip. Horvath just going to take the snap and pitch it to Graham. Graham going to use a couple of the blocks, and then he's going to be met right at the line of scrimmage. Good piece of tackling by Ricky Williamson in that Olivet defense.
Josh Graham's the second running back for this team. He's a 6', 215-pound freshman from Hilton, New York. On the season, he has, before this game, of course, 20 attempts, 125 yards, 1 touchdown. His longest rush for 53 yards. So when they don't want to use Palmer, they have a really good option in Josh Graham. They also have another freshman running back in Nicholas Cuomo that we haven't seen yet today.
2nd and 10, 4 minutes, 10 seconds to go here in the third. Horvath taking the snap. He's going to throw a check down again to the running back. This one going to be Courier. Courier cutting back right to left, and he's going to pick up a couple of yards there after what seemed to be a dead play in the backfield, but fighting, and a good job there by Noah Courier to get some yardage there for the Pioneers.
Although Courier, in this game, as the bells roll here at Cutler, even though he's really established his presence in this game as a return guy, he's still a very viable receiver option for the Pioneers, and they just used him there.
Big third down here, 3rd and 7 for the Pioneers. They need to convert to keep this one alive as they're looking to put some points up on the board and make this a closer game. Horvath's going to take the snap, dropping back to pass. He's going to get pressured, and he's going to be brought down. Once again, Ricky Williamson on the sack.
The experience of Williamson and the defensive line has shown here like it has not shown before. In the previous few games that Olivet has had, they've struggled to get the quarterback on the ground, but in this game, they have excelled in that. And perhaps that's something that Coach Moose and the defensive coaches have talked about, and it's really shown here. And just a fantastic job. The defensive line, honestly, is really winning Olivet this game.
And what a job by Olivet to make the stop when they need it, forcing a 4th down here now. It's going to be another punt here by Riley Van Fleet, as back deep to receive is Nathan Briggs for Olivet. As this punt is going to be high up in the air. Surprised we're not going to see a fair catch, and then it's going to be muffed. But Nate Briggs able to bring it back within. And I do believe it was a fair catch that he called. I just didn't see it. As now he's going to be marked down at the 18-yard line. That's where Olivet's going to start their next drive, as it's going to be, seems to be Evan Ormsby and Thomas Faust. They both have the helmet on over down there on the sideline. As it could be interesting trying to see what we're going to go with, as Thomas Faust going to come back out onto the field. It almost looked, though, like Evan Ormsby and company were coming back out.
That's what I was thinking too, Sebastian. And but no, it looks like they're going to maintain the status quo here and keep Thomas Faust in the game.
As Faust, 2 minutes, 33 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. 1st down, 10 yards to go. As ball on their 18-yard line for Olivet. Needing to put together a drive and really separate this game once again. Because Alfred State, when they have the ball in their hands, they look good. A read option here, tossed out to Samuel Canucci, as good job by Faust to realize that the lanes were closing and getting to him quickly. Just tosses it over right side to Samuel Canucci, and that's going to be a gain of about 5 on the play for Olivet.
And the read option is such a nifty little play that can really trick a defense, and Olivet has really used that to their advantage in this game. And I believe they've used it in their entire season. It's really a play that they're really good at running.
2 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Pistol formation for Olivet. Faust going to take the snap, hand it off to Canucci. Canucci fighting his way through the line of scrimmage, and he's going to be brought down right around the 1st-yard marker, as they're going to say he got it, and that's going to be a conversion there on the 2nd and 6. So a good pickup by Samuel Canucci, and that's going to be another chain mover for the Comets.
Samuel Canucci so far in this game, 11 attempts for 71 yards, yet to score a touchdown. All the rushing touchdowns have been scored by either Dontel Wright or Thomas Faust, but still, great contributions from Canucci tonight.
As now Faust in the pistol, once again he's going to fake the misdirection, and Samuel Canucci going to get the handoff, but dropped in the backfield, as that's going to be a good stop behind the line of scrimmage, as that is Neftali Cruz.
Neftali Cruz, another freshman for Alfred State, 6'8", 178 from Rochester, New York, showing that he really belongs in the starting lineup.
As getting into the backfield and making a drop behind the line of scrimmage, impressive there by the freshman Cruz. As 2nd and 13, ball on Olivet's 26-yard line. A minute remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Faust in the shotgun, 2 receivers on each side. He's going to have a tailback in the backfield. Faust going to scan the field. This one going to be a deep ball, Cirquarius ball. It went up with the one hand, however, didn't come down with it, as it was a nice throw and a nice attempt for both Faust and Cirquarius ball. Just an incomplete pass there, intended for his receiver ball.
It wouldn't have been the first highlight catch that Squarius Ball has had this game, and despite the coverage from Van Vliet, it just didn't have a good grasp on it.
As Olivet now 3rd and 13, ball still on 26-yard line, 50 seconds remaining here 3rd quarter, as Olivet leads it 26-13. Faust going to be in the shotgun with a tailback. He's going to have 3 receivers to his left. He's going to throw a check down to Dontel Wright behind the line of scrimmage, but working his way out and in front of us. That's going to be a gain of about 7 or 8 there on the play. That's going to bring up 4th down here for the Comets.
We're going to have to see what they plan to do on this 4th down. I mean, To go for it would be kind of a Dan Campbell type move against the Chiefs, and it doesn't look like they will do that. They will punch it away.
Yeah, I would say with the lead being what it is, 26-13,
Shouldn't risk it.
and 4th and 6, ball on the 33-yard line of Olivet's own territory. It would have been a shocker to see them try and go for this one. I mean, you could see them get it. They can pick up 6 yards in a play. However, smart idea here by Olivet to not go for it and to get this one off. Is Fulton Reed going to be pressured here? But a good punt. This one
though.
Going to be as Reed going to take this one in. Reed Van Fleet takes it in, but nowhere to go. And yes, like you said, Fulton Reed was hit on the play, so with that flag, we'll see what happens, but could be a new set of downs here and Comet keep the football.
Yeah, then that's
Roughing the kicker.
it will be roughing the kicker. Fulton Reed got clobbered after he punted the ball away, and Riley Van Fleet, Olivet returning the favor. They're also getting hit pretty hard, and that's certainly a game-changing penalty, and it's something that you just can't have if you're Alfred State. That's pretty careless of them.
Yeah, just when Olivet thinks that their offense is going to get a break and a little bit of a rest, that 15-yard penalty coming after hitting Fulton Reed. And I mean, you can't be making the little mistakes like that if you're Alfred State or Olivet. I mean, we've seen these penalties hurt both of these teams, this time going against Alfred State.
And we just heard our wonderful crowd here chanting, "You can't do that." And yep, they're right. You just can't do that, especially if you're Alfred State and you're down by 13, because the ball's back in Olivet's hands with 12 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Shotgun formation now as Faust takes the snap. He's just going to hand this one off to Dontel Wright. Dontel Wright going to get it out across midfield, pick up about 4 yards on the carry. That's going to bring up 2nd down. As it's also going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Olivet leads it here 26-13 as it's been an action-packed 3rd quarter. Both teams coming out of the half swinging, and boy, oh boy, I mean, it's really exciting to watch the passing game from Alfred State, but then it's also as equally exciting to see Dontel Wright and Samuel Canucci burn you on the ground.
Indeed, and this is really what college football is all about. All these games are just so exciting, and it's really honestly a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to call it because of that. And yeah, certainly, I mean, going into this game, as I said during halftime, I was kind of expecting there to be more of a running game for the Pioneers, but they have really been finding more success over the air. I mean, we haven't seen a huge passing play this half so far, but in the first half that was certainly evident as Ben Bra and Jazir Francois each got a pretty long reception, and it looks like Olivet's secondary has really done a good job in terms of locking down the airspace and turning it into a bit of a no-fly zone, if you will.
As we're getting set here for the 4th quarter of action, Cotton Eye Joe ringing out, the cheerleaders dancing, getting the home crowd pumped up for this last quarter of action. Olivet filled with the many traditions. I mean, of course, Cotton Eye Joe and the bells on 3rd down have been here since I've been here my freshman year, Jack, as the great traditions always stand here at the University of Olivet.
Indeed they do.
As in the pistol formation now, Faust taking the snap. He's going to give the handoff to the tailback, Dontel Wright. Dontel Wright trying to find a little bit of room, but however, the Pioneers not going to give it to him as it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 8 there after a loss of about a yard on that play by Olivet.
Got some pressure from Amr Aldawar, one of the defensive backs as well, and I also saw Jeremiah Nixon on that great stop by the Alfred State Pioneers. You don't want to let Olivet have any more big plays if you want to come back and win this game.
Nixon's one of those guys you got to really try and get around if you want to find success against his defense. 35 combined tackles. I mean,
and that's before this game, too.
Yeah, that number's growing after this game. Faust taking the shotgun snap. He's going to roll out to the left side. Pressure's coming. However, he's spinning around, still up, fighting to the line of scrimmage before he's pushed out of bounds over on that Alfred State sideline. And boy, they brought down Thomas Faust with some aggression.
Yeah, and it took him a while to do that too. I mean, Thomas Faust showing off his athleticism, acting hard to get out, to get down, and that might have been a gain actually on that in a play that looked like a surefire loss for the Comets.
As it's going to bring up 4th and 8 here, ball on the 50-yard line. 13 minutes, 50 seconds remaining here in this football game. As Evan Ormsby back out on the field, Olivet's going to seem like they're going to go for it, and they're just going to fake a punt here as the quarterback, Evan Ormsby, came in and booted this one to try and pin them back deep. However, it wasn't a successful punt. And I will say, Coach Moose is really diving down into that bag of tricks and bringing up some trick plays, because I've never seen Evan Ormsby try and get off a punt, but that one only went for about 20 yards.
If your goal is to surprise the defense, Coach Moose and Olivet certainly pulled that off with this play. I certainly wasn't expecting Ormsby, the quarterback, to punt off that ball, and it looks like Alfred State will start their next drive at around the 31-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like they were going to go for it. I mean, I thought they were going to go for it. However, good trick play. I mean, usually not a trick play you're used to seeing, but trick play still works as a trick play. As now Horvath in the shotgun, he's going to look over right side. He's going to throw another check down. Seems to be the theme of this game between these two quarterbacks, as that one's going to be completed over there to Ryan Batson.
Good play there by Alfred. I believe that was Noah Silfer, the senior fullback / tight end from Liverpool, New York. A lot of experience with him, and he's certainly had his fair share of receptions. 5 for 41 before this game, and he's getting some touches here today as well.
As two receivers line up each side for Alfred State, 13 minutes remaining in the game. Olivet leads it 26-13 as they're looking for a stop here against Alfred State, as Alfred State's looking to put some points up on the board and make this one a game here in the late stages. As Horvath going to take the snap, pressure's coming. As the pressure's going to get there again, Ricky Williamson at it again.
No amount of offensive linemen can contain Ricky Williamson if you're Alfred State. Horvath, throughout this entire game, has seen the pocket collapsing, and he's just been sacked. But we have a holding call now. Another holding call on Olivet, and it turned what was a really good sack into, again, another momentum killer for Olivet. A good sack by Ricky Williamson, but it seems to be... Oh, that was on the offense, actually.
Yeah.
So actually, that's worse.
It was a holding against Alfred State. I mean, it was even declined because the loss on the play was greater for Olivet there. Bringing up third down now, 3rd and 12. 12 minutes, 34 seconds. Horvath in the shotgun. Two receivers to his left, one to the right. He's going to have Palmer in the backfield right at that hip. As Horvath going to take this. He's going to step up in the pocket, realize it's collapsing. He's going to throw this one over the middle of the field looking for Raphael Class. That one's going to be incompleted.
Fantastic coverage there by the Comets. And another short drive by the Alfred State Pioneers. And Olivet keeping the pressure on. They're keeping them out of this game, really. And Olivet has yet another opportunity to put some more points on the board and maybe put this game away.
And that's what you're looking for on the defensive side for Olivet. You're looking for Alfred State to really force these 3-and-outs, force these throws against your secondary, because, I mean, that's what you got to be looking for. Is the only times they've scored on you has been off of the deep ball. You've been stopping the run all game long. You've been stopping the short checkdowns. You just got to watch over the middle of the field. Good job by Olivet there to make nothing happen and force a 3-and-out. As the punt there going to be hopped on and taken down at the 30-yard line and in Olivet territory, as they're going to start their drive on the 31-yard line with 12 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Olivet leads it by 13, 26-13.
It's going to be a good start for Olivet again. It's around the 31-yard line, and yeah, so let's see what they can do here. Will they put more points on the board, or will Alfred State get another stop and yet another opportunity to put points on the board?
As Alfred State, if they're going to hang in this game, they need to make a stop here. But Olivet looking to put the nail in the coffin. As Faust going to send a man in motion. He's going to take the snap, drop back to pass. He's going to look over left side. That one's going to be toe tapped. We'll see if he caught it. Officials wave it incomplete. Good effort, though, over on that left sideline by Nate Briggs.
Again, it's Briggs and Ball specifically, really, who have been kind of targeted on these risky passes, and I really can't blame Thomas Faust in the offense, because they can really bring it down, and Briggs tried to, he just couldn't get the foot down.
Yeah, they've been shooting towards the sideline all game long. I mean, you kind of were pointing at that while they were warming up. They're taking sideline shots with the receivers, and they're running the ball over the middle of the field, but it's been successful here today for Olivet. As Faust in the shotgun, he's going to take the snap, he's going to give to the tailback, as trying to fight for yardage there. is Olivet. We'll see where they mark it. That one's going to be a gain of about 3 yards on the carry there for Samuel Canucci.
And it looks like Alfred State's running defense is starting to pick up the pace a little bit. I mean, it probably would have been a little nicer to have that happen earlier in the game, but there's still a ton of time left in this final quarter for that defense to make an impact and force a 3-and-out.
3rd and 7 here for Olivet, needing to pick up a first down and still keep the clock rolling. 11 minutes, 35 seconds to go here in the football game. As Thomas Faust is going to have 2 receivers to his left, 1 to the right. He's going to have a tailback in the shotgun formation, sending a man in motion as he's going to take the snap, fake the handoff, stand in the pocket as he's delivering a deep ball here. That one's caught to the 15, to the 10, into the end zone. Touchdown, Olivet, as the freshman Kevin LeBron Hill finds his way into the end zone for his first touchdown as a Comet.
Fantastic moment for that young man as the Comet crowd going crazy. That is Thomas Faust's first thrown touchdown of the game, showing that he's not only a dynamic runner, but he also has an arm, a heck of an arm, as a matter of fact. Kevin LeBron Hill, though, the true freshman, really making his name known. And just a fantastic game for that young man. You got to feel good for him.
66 yards through the air from Faust to LeBron Hill. As, oh my goodness, just blowing this game wide open, 32-13 as we await the PAT, the snap, the hold, and the kick, and it's all good. Olivet adds to the total, 33-13, a 20-point lead. Olivet now taking care of business at home.
That lead becoming more insurmountable as time goes down. But there's still obviously a chance for Alfred State to chip away, but they cannot have any drives in which they do not come away with at least a couple of points on the board. And their last few drives, they haven't really been doing that, but the time, it's 11 minutes until the end of the 4th quarter. The time is now. You need to put points on the board if you're Alfred State. If you don't, you're not going to win this game.
And I mean, what a feeling right now for Kevin LeBron Hill down there on that sideline. We see him dapping up all the teammates, getting high fives, getting hugs from all the receivers, all the offensive linemen. They all know what that means. I mean, that's the first collegiate career touchdown there for Kevin LeBron Hill. I mean, what a feeling that's got to be.
He's going to remember that for his entire life, Sebastian. And, you know, it's just a great throw by Faust, a great run by LeBron Hill. Hopefully we see more of him because it's really working.
And 66 yards for the touchdown, as now the kickoff here to Alfred State is going to be hauled in around the 6-yard line, and that's where Courier is going to start their return. He's been returning all game long for Alfred State, as going from the 6-yard line, bouncing out around the 40-yard line. What a return.
But a very good punt, by the way, from Olivet. But yeah, you're right. Noah Courier showing why he really should be the main. I don't think we've seen Raphael Class yet, Sebastian, and he's normally been the guy who's been their main kick returner. But you know, Noah Courier's showing that he really is a viable first option on that. And the return game for Alfred State is kind of reminiscent to how a return game was for Olivet against Hanover. I mean, obviously, the lead isn't that bad for, the deficit isn't that bad for Alfred State, but even though they're losing, they still have that return game to fall back on.
A 20-point lead for Olivet. Horvath takes the snap, surveying the field. He's going to throw this one out, and that one's incomplete as he was intending there for Matthew Mancuso.
That's a drop that the coaches of Alfred State are probably really upset about. I mean, and I understand, again, the throw was kind of low, but you really need to get the ball in there because, you know, that could have been a solid completion and probably for about 7 yards there.
11 minutes, 2 seconds remaining here in the football game. Olivet leads it by 20, 33-13 as Horvath and company facing a 2nd and 10 with the ball on their 40-yard line. Horvath got 3 receivers to his left. He's going to take the shotgun pass. Ricky Williamson going to blow this one back up into the backfield as he's just going to swat the pass there from Horvath. Ricky Williamson, have yourself a day on the defense.
Number 95, just showing all that he has to offer for this Olivet defense. He's pressuring the quarterback, and he's even tipping passes. This guy is unstoppable, and you know he's just doing a fantastic job for Olivet. And Horvath is going to have nightmares about him for weeks to come.
3rd and 10, 10:57 remaining in the football game. As ball still on the 40-yard line after that incompletion, and bat down from Ricky Williamson on the edge. Horvath taking the snap, dropping back. Pressure coming, stepping up in the pocket, and that one's going to be tipped and picked off by Olivet. Olivet, the straightaway freight train, they're rolling. However, there is a flag on the play, Jack.
That would be Dylan Knight with that recovery if it stands. What a play. That is the second straight tipped pass by the Olivet defense and by that defensive line in particular. Just what a performance they've had on this drive, and if you're Alfred State and this call stands, you're in trouble, and that might do it, possibly.
As there is a flag on the play, we're going to see what it's going to go against. I did see Horvath take a big lick as he was letting go of that ball. The official still chatting down there on the field. We'll see what the call is going to be. As it is going to be roughing the passer against Olivet, that's going to be a 15-yard penalty, and it's going to be a first down for Alfred State, as that takes away the big interception, and it keeps Alfred State's drive alive.
Olivet should really be lucky that they put points on the board early and their running game is good, because if this was anywhere remote, if this was a lot closer, those could be plays that you could possibly lose the game over. Olivet really needs to clean up their act, because this is getting to the point where this is becoming a consistent problem game after game after game. And they really, again, should be lucky that Dontel Wright, Samuel Canucci, and Thomas Faust stepped up there.
As Horvath and company now, or excuse me, this one's going to be backup quarterback after Horvath took a lick. I do believe he'll have to sit out for a play after the helmet coming off. So taking snaps right now is going to be Jacob Robinson, as the sophomore from Melville, New York, in for Horvath after taking a big hit on that last play. Richardson going to drop back to pass, and there's going to be another flag on this play. I do believe it's going to be a false start going against this offense. However, we'll see what the officials call it.
And that would be Robinson. That would have been Robinson's first snap this season, and maybe even in his entire career, because on the stats, Justin Horvath is the only person listed under the pass, meaning that he's really been the only one who's been under center. And Jacob Robinson's first snap ends in a false start for the Pioneers.
As now Horvath, the main quarterback, out for Alfred State. He's going to have two receivers to the left and one to the right, and he's going to have Palmer glued to that hip in the backfield. As he's going to take the snap, surveying the field, he's going to throw it over the middle. There's the main receiver, number 1, Jazier Francois.
And you really need to go for him if you're Alfred State, because he will get you the yards. He will get, because his longest reception, for example, 73 yards. And we saw a very long reception from him earlier in the game for the first touchdown for Alfred State. So, keep going to him if you're Alfred State, and you might find yourself in the end zone in a couple of plays.
As for Francois, that's just his second reception of the game after that long touchdown of 69 yards, so just 2 receptions for him. They're taking another shot towards the end zone here. Alfred State, that one's going to be incomplete, as Horvath and company taking that shot deep downfield. As I was trying to say, Francois, only 2 targets. That's their main guy they're going with, as they were just trying to shoot for number 15, Ben Ba, in the end zone.
Ben Ba, as we said, another receiver that you need to really watch out for, because he has the experience. Francois is only a sophomore, but Ben Ba has the experience. He knows what's going on. And fantastic coverage by the Olivet secondary. And let's see what Alfred State can respond with.
3rd and 3, a big third down here, as Horvath not going to be taking the snap. It's just going to be Palmer in the backfield. Palmer, the running back, sending a man in motion. He's going to try and keep himself and find room to run. However, Palmer is just going to be swarmed in the backfield, maybe getting back to that line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of yard on the play.
And again, that defensive line reading that play like a book and getting the stop. They've really been one of the many game changers for the Comets, and the big reason as to why they're up by 20 right now.
As keeping the offense out on the field goes Alfred State. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Horvath in the shotgun with Palmer at his hip. Horvath looking to the sideline for the play call. It's a big 4th down conversion here for Alfred State. As 9 minutes, 24 seconds remaining here in the game. Horvath dropping back, pressure coming. Dylan Weaver giving chase. Horvath still scanning, ball up over right side of the field. That one's going to be swatted down. Great coverage right there by number 21, James Banks.
James Banks, a freshman defensive back, and one of those new guys that Coach Moose really wants to bring into the program. Fantastic coverage by the secondary and good pressure by the defensive line, especially with Dylan Weaver. So yeah, I mean, that was a fantastic stop, and it looks like Olivet will take over on downs. The fourth down completion percentage for Alfred State will continue to drop. I mean, why not go for it? I mean, you're down by 20. It was 4th and 4, completely manageable, but, you know, not the best execution there, as the Olivet offense will get back out there, and Faust staying in at quarterback. 1st and 10 for the Comets at the 39-yard line, 9:12 to go in this game.
As Faust and company in the pistol formation, they're just going to hand this one off to Dontel Wright. Dontel Wright getting the edge. He's going to pick up a good gain of yardage there, about 4-5 yards on the carry. We'll see where the officials mark it.
And Dontel Wright up until that play, 18 attempts, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's really been the primary running back for Olivet today, and you know, he's a big factor as to why we're up by 20 right now.
8 minutes, 50 seconds on the running clock right now, 33-13. Olivet leads by 20. And I mean, if they can just take a lot of time off this clock, it'll be a successful victory here for the home team, and the first victory as the University of Olivet, as Thomas Faust is going to take the handoff and hand it to the tailback, as he's going to be stuffed right at the line of scrimmage, maybe gaining a yard on that play.
And it looks like throughout the entire game, it looks like that the outside runs are the hardest ones for Alfred State to defend against. And that's why you've seen a lot of the touchdown plays from Kanuji, Faust, or Kanuji, Faust, or Wright, you know, go on the outside. But when they've tried to go inside, they've always gotten swallowed up by the Alfred State D line. So, I mean, and you certainly saw that there. That's a trend that we've been following this entire game.
As now, Faust going to take the handoff, hand it off to Dontel Wright. Dontel Wright trying to find the edge, getting out towards that first down marker. As we're going to see where they mark him at, just a little short, maybe a yard shy.
Olivet running backs, they love to seek the edge, and you know, and they've certainly gotten the edge on plenty of plays, and that's exactly why we've had Olivet has had 4 rushing touchdowns in this game. It's just because they've found the edge and they've found a hole in the Alfred State defense.
As they're going to convert there on that first down, so it's going to keep the drive alive here for Olivet. 1st and 10, 7 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in this game. Olivet just trying to melt the clock down as quick as they can. As Faust going to send a man in motion, takes the snap, gives the handoff, and fakes it, keeps it himself. Thomas Faust now off to the races before he's brought down, but after picking up the first down.
Was that a football player I just saw there, or was that the flash? I mean, Thomas Faust on that run, showing off his speed and a good fake to confuse the defense, and Alfred State contained it before it got too much out of hand.
As Thomas Faust using that dual threat ability, I mean, he's been doing it all game long. He's had 11 attempts, for 62 yards, and then through the air, he's 10 for 16, 155 yards and a touchdown. As they're just going to give over here to the tailback, Dontel Wright, as Wright's going to bounce his way out to the edge, but not pick up a gain there on the play, as he's just going to be brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
And again, those inside running plays for Olivet, they're not working that well in comparison to the outside running games, but it's not that important considering the fact that they're in time-killing mode right now. They're just winding down the clock on every possession, and it's really smart that they are running even if it is an inside run, because a pass is way too risky. Even though you are up by 20, you don't want to risk a turnover there. So running games, whether they're inside or outside, even though inside has been more successful, that's what you want to do there.
Faust in the pistol, sending a man in motion, taking the snap, taking the misdirection and giving to Dontel Wright. Dontel Wright getting through that line of scrimmage and picking about 3 yards on that play, bringing it to the 35-yard line. and it's going to bring up third down now for the Comets.
Yeah, like you said, it sets up a manageable third down. You can continue to waste time if you don't get the third down completion. It's not a big deal. You can just go for it on fourth down. You are in enemy territory. If you don't trust your kickers to kick that far a field goal, which I don't think they really do, you still have an extra down because of your field position.
3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. As Thomas Faust taking the snap, he's going to throw this one over left side. One-handed grab by the running back, Samuel Canucci, making a couple of guys miss after the play. Oh my goodness, the second chance efforts here by Olivet.
And boy, did he make that look easy or what? He grabbed that one. He had to grab that with one hand so effortlessly, so casually. And that's a first down for the Comets. What a play by Samuel Canucci there.
As Thomas Faust and company again just trying to keep wasting the time away. As 1st and 10 now, ball on the 24-yard line, 5 minutes, 19 seconds remaining here in this football game. Faust has 3 receivers to his right, 1 to the left. He's going to drop back to pass. He's going to swing it Cerqueiri's ball's way as Cerqueiri's ball catches that one and almost brings it into the end zone before getting bounced out at the 2-yard line.
He was so close to getting over the pylon and getting another touchdown for the Comets. But regardless, what a gain and a great decision by Faust, and a good catch again by Olivet's number 1 receiving guy, Cerqueiri's ball.
Cerqueiri's ball having a day in his own right, as 4 receptions, 5 receptions now on the play, or on the day, as he's averaging 13.5 yards every time he gets the ball in his hands. As taking a snap now, Thomas Faust going to give it to Dontel Wright. Dontel Wright fighting his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Comets!
Hat trick for Mr. Wright, number 3 in red. 3 touchdowns now on the day. 23, before then, 23 attempts, 166 yards. Fantastic outing for Dontel Wright. And as Color Event Center is getting crazy, as Olivet now leads by 26 points. This would be by far their biggest win of the season. Their only win of the season, besides this, coming against Franklin, that was only a 3-point victory despite Thomas Faust rushing for and passing for over 200 yards. Let's see how this extra point goes.
Yeah, Thomas Faust really showing everything that he's made of this season, coming back off the injury this game and really turning up as the PAT is going to be up and good. Olivet extends that lead 40-13 now, and it's pretty much a runaway game at this point here for the Comets at home.
They have now outmatched their season high in points, if you will, 35 against Franklin, and now they have 40, so this is a season high, the most points they've scored since at least last season. So a great offensive outing for the Comets, and if you're Alfred State, it's going to be a long bus ride home.
Yeah, 7-hour bus ride home for the Pioneers.
Around 474 miles. We calculated it before the show, and yeah. And we see here, we still have some Alfred State fans over there, probably wondering why I'm pointing at them, but yeah, so you have some dedicated fans who are willing to travel 7 hours to watch this game, even if the result isn't in their favor.
Yeah, and it's not a big crowd, not one of the bigger crowds we've seen here versus, say, a conference opponent or somebody that's closer than 7 hours away, but Alfred State still having numbers and still showing up in this game. However, Olivet leads them 40-13 at home, and what a bounce-back game this one was.
They needed this desperately.
Compared to that Hanover game where they got 50 points hung up on them on the home opener of the season, as Courier going to take this one, bouncing off defenders, switching sides of the field now. He might get to the edge, depending on, he just needs to beat the foot race of number 10, Keon Johnson. However, Johnson going to push him out of bounds, and he wasn't able to beat Johnson in the foot race.
Incredible relentless by Noah Courier, and good stop by the Comets. But when you talk to Coach Moose Sebastian, he did emphasize the fact that the bye week was very important in terms of getting the team back in rhythm. They just came off of a 50-point defeat, one of the worst in school history. And now we're seeing what the bye week has done. Now they're up by 27 points, their biggest victory of the season thus far. They needed this, and you could probably have the bye week to thank for that.
100%. They got a lot of extra reps. They got a lot of extra rest. Much needed rest after what was a tough game 2 weeks ago here at home. but now bouncing back with the score being 40-13 and an Olivet lead. As Horvath's going to take this one, swing it over right side. He's going to have his main wide receiver, as that one's going to be Jazier Francois.
Again, another target and reception for Mr. Francois. And, he might not have gotten enough receptions that he's used to getting, but at the same time, he's still producing. And, it's 4 minutes left in the fourth. I think it's probably, the game's probably over for Alfred State, but you can still march down and get some points on the board, and that's what they're hoping to do on this drive.
As Horvath in the shotgun, going to have two receivers on each side. And so far on the day, Jazier Francois, 3 catches, almost at 100 yards, 97 total. Horvath dropping back. He's going to sling this one deep down the field. He's going to have his wide receiver. That's number 15, Ben Ba.
And he had 2 guys on him too. That was an incredible catch by the senior from Harlem, New York. And now all of a sudden, Alfred State is within the 5-yard line and. Well, within the 10-yard line, and they could score here. I mean, it wouldn't make much of a difference, unfortunately, for the Pioneers, but they could still make this a little closer.
3:36 remaining in the game. Horvath taking a snap. He's looking around. He's going to get swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage as Dylan Weaver making the shoestring sack.
Dylan Weaver, another player on that defensive line that's just been so impactful for the Convent defense. And as everybody here at Cutler's chanting defense, and rightly so, because this defense has really been fantastic for the Comets today.
Yeah, it's a defense that has won them this football game for sure, but looking to keep Alfred State out of the end zone and make the stat sheet look a little better in their own right. As Horvath in the shotgun, he's going to have a running back in the backfield with him, as he's going to take the snap that's left up high. However, pressure coming now, gets the throw off. That one's going to be incomplete.
A thing to note, if you are watching this game, you might be wondering why who is really the quarterback? Is it number 4 or number 14? Justin Horvath is only 5'8", 188 pounds. He's from Grand Island, New York, but he's a lot shorter than a lot of collegiate quarterbacks. And Josh Graham is 6', 215. So, it kind of creates an illusion here, because you have a guy who kind of looks more like a running back as the quarterback, and the guy who looks more like a quarterback being a running back. So it is something that we've certainly noticed, and something that maybe the fans have noticed as well.
As 3 receivers to the right, or left, 1 to the right. Horvath taking the snap, taking the pass over into the corner, intended for Ben Ba. However, the double coverage too strong against the Pioneers.
It was also overthrown just a little bit. And again, as we pointed out with Olivet's offense, it looks like Alfred State's offense is also targeting those back corners. I mean, can't blame them. It's certainly a good place to get open and catch a touchdown, but still, we're not really seeing a lot of touchdown throws over the middle from either team.
Yeah, Horvath is trying to use the fade routes to his taller wide receivers, especially the one Ben Ba, as Ba is standing at 6'3", 210 pounds. As Horvath in the shotgun, going to take the snap, looking over, surveying the field. Now he's going to use the legs. He's going to take off. However, staying behind the line of scrimmage, throwing a jump ball into the end zone. Touchdown, Francois.
Despite the loss that Alfred State will be having, that might be the catch of the day. What a grab by Jazier Francois. That is why he is the number 1 receiver. He is a red zone threat. He can make unbelievable catches like that. You could hear audible gasps from the audience and here in the press box. Incredible catch by Francois. Alfred State makes this game a bit closer and makes, as you said, their performance on the stat sheet just a little better.
Yeah, Francois going up and grabbing that one with one hand for the touchdown. I mean, my goodness, what an athletic leap. As the point extra attempt's going to be up, and I believe no good. Yeah, the official's going to call it no good. So the extra point attempts here for Alfred State, a little strugglesome and stagnant in their own right. So they were just trying to cut this one into a 20-point deficit. However, it's going to stand a 21-point lead for Olivet, 40-19, with 2 minutes 34 seconds remaining in this football game.
And that is only the second missed extra point of Maxwell DeMar's season so far. Now he stands probably like 13 for 15, I would assume. I do not have live stats to confirm that, but heading into the game, he was 11 for 12, and he's a freshman as well. So, providing some stability on the kicking side of things, which is something that Olivet doesn't really have, as they use 3 different kickers. It's kind of the same with the quarterbacks, as sure, Faust is better than Ormsby, but at the same time, Ormsby has been used on drives. Meanwhile, on Alfred State side, they only really use one quarterback, and that is Justin Horvath.
As getting set to kick it deep here for Alfred State is going to be Max DeMar. And DeMar has been setting it deep all night here for the Pioneers, as there's just about 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in this football game. And Alfred State cuts into the deficit just a little bit, but it's nothing too concerning here for the Comet faithful, because this game's merely over with the lead being up to 21. But now there's going to be a timeout taken here for Olivet, as we're going to take a 30-second break here on WOCR 89 1-1. Stick around for more Comet action. And welcome back here to WOCR 89-1-1. 40-19 is the score here at the Cutler Athletic Event Center. And man, oh man, what a game it has been here. Olivet showing the ground game. 5 touchdowns in total. 2 to Thomas Faust, 3 to Dontel Wright. As Dontel Wright, 24 attempts, 169 yards on the game, as he's averaging 7 yards per carry.
And Olivet's telling all of the doubters that after last game, that last game does not define our season. We can still put up a lot of points. We can still keep the points allowed to a minimum and can still win some football games.
As DeMar going to send this one in deep here, taking in around the 15-yard line of Olivet, and then merely pushed out of bounds right around the 30-yard line, as that's going to set up a good return of about 15 yards there for Olivet.
A lot of their returns seem to be concentrating around the 30-yard line, I've been noticing. And that's a really good field position if you're Olivet. It isn't too far back. I mean, you obviously could get much better, but considering how far punts normally go, it's pretty good field position.
As the closing stages of this game slowly creeping by, we got 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in this
Ormsby now
football.
at quarterback for Olivet.
As Evan Ormsby, yes, in the game here, with the score being up 3 scores, 21 points exactly, 40-19 is the score. As Ormsby in the pistol, going to take the handoff, and he's just going to give over there to his running back, Samuel Canucci, or excuse me, that's Ryan White in the game now. As Ryan White getting some of his first carries in this game, as they're just trying to get the youth of the program and kind of some more reps in over here for everybody on this Comet team.
If that was Thomas Faust's last drive, he will finish the game 12 for 18, 187 yards, 1 touchdown, and on the running game, 11 attempts for 62 yards, 2 touchdowns. Fantastic performance from Faust, welcoming his style of football back to the audience here at Cutler.
Yeah, and I mean, he ran for exact amount that he threw for, 62 yards in each category, as Ormsby's going to hand off to Ryan White. Up the middle it goes, and that's going to be good enough for a Comet first down.
Ryan White, the 5'7" junior from Detroit, Michigan, and Michigan Collegiate High School, you know, showing that, you know, Coach Moose has a lot of depth, not only in his quarterback room, as he told you, Sebastian, but in a lot of different positions. You know, you have Canucci, you have Wright, you have Faust even, and then you have guys like Ryan White, who are a little newer to the program, but can still provide a lot of good plays and yardage.
1 minute, 20 seconds, and counting down. The play clock reaching 8 seconds. They're just going to take a snap, hand it off to Ryan White, and let him get some yardage here, as that's going to be a gain of about 4 yards. So Ryan White coming into this game, picking up some good yardage here, but they're just going to run this one all the way down, as we're under a minute remaining here at the Cutler Athletic Event Center. And what a game for Olivet. What a bounce-back statement game that they needed before heading on over into the conference play, as it's going to be a season here for the Comets.
Yeah, they needed this, and that's really the only thing they really did need to do before this game. They had an extra week with the bye week, and then Coach Moose said that was incredibly important to getting the team back in rhythm. And yeah, they really needed this, and they got it. So this provides them with a boost of confidence for further games, especially as we are now going into conference play, where the teams are tougher and also more local. So, at home games, for example, you won't have many empty bleachers on the other side. Look, kind of depressing over there. You can actually have a lot of rowdy audiences from the away side, and especially when you go home onto their side. That also makes now near triple zeros here. The final score: Olivet 40, Alfred State 19. Alfred State now down to 2 and 3 as they will face Lyon next week, and that will be their final. Non-conference game. Olivet now improves to 2 and 2 as they will enter conference play.
As in the conference play starting next week, October 7th, they're going to be taking on Kalamazoo in Kalamazoo. That's a 2 o'clock start. And then weeks after that, it'll be Trine away. And the next time we're back here in Olivet getting a game call, it's going to be homecoming against Hope College.
Can't wait for that, Sebastian.
It's going to be a great one here in Olivet, but what a game it was here today. And I mean, just absolutely great football being played by everybody on that Comet team. Defensively, offensively, Olivet just got everything done today. Ricky Williamson getting big tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Thomas Faust getting a couple of touchdowns on the ground as well as one through the air. But the real star on the ground, I would have to say Dontel Wright. 169 yards, 3 touchdowns, and they just ran away with this football game against the Pioneers from Alfred State.
They did exactly the opposite of what happened at Hanover. They let Hanover run away with the game in the first half, and Alfred State, in a way, let Olivet run away with the game. And that's really what you need to do in order to win for Olivet, it seems like. You need to be able to put points on the board early and maintain the lead, because you really can't maintain a lead in the first place if you don't have one. So Alfred State, as I said, now 2 and 3 on the season. Each of their losses have been over 18 points. They faced Husson University. They lost to them 31-13. The game before that, they faced Rochester of New York. 49-7 was the score of that one, and the score of this game, 40-19 in favor of the Comets of UO. As Sebastian said, they get their first home win since the name change. Alfred State has one more non-conference game. They will face Lyon. And after that, they go into conference play. Their conference isn't very big. There's only about 5 schools in it, maybe 6, and that's why they are able to have extended non-conference slates because of their conference. And before they joined their conference, they were kind of used to this, as they were a D3 independent, as they faced schools from all across the New England area, including even some schools in Ohio and Pennsylvania, and maybe even in Kentucky. But now that they're in a conference, they do have to worry about schools that they have to face year after year after year. And, this is kind of new for Alfred State, but as they huddle over by their territory as their coach talks to them after the game, Olivet doing the same on their side of the field. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Alfred State will do in the remainder of their season. But as for Olivet, as Sebastian said, it's time for MIAA conference play. They face Kalamazoo, and then homecoming against Hope, the Flying Dutchman. That's going to be exciting. The atmosphere here is going to be electric, and you better believe that we'll be calling that here on WOCR 89.1 The One.
Yeah, but the next time we'll be calling a sports game for WOCR a week from now, less than a week from now, as Friday, October 6th, we will be calling the Olivet High School versus Lakewood Odessa game. But until then, signing off from WOCR 89.1 The One, Sebastian O'Leary and Jack Webb. Stick around here on WOCR 89.1 The One for more classy tunes.